I ain't happy. I'm feeling glad I got sunshine in a bag. I'm useless, but not for long. The future is coming on. I ain't happy. I'm feeling glad I got sunshine in a bag. I'm useless, but not for long. The future is coming on. It's coming on. It's coming on. Finally, someone let me out of my cage, and now time for me is nothing, cause I'm counting no age. And now I couldn't be there, now you shouldn't be scared. I'm good at repairs, and I'm under each snare. Intangible, that you didn't think, so I command you to. Panoramic view, look, I make it all manageable. Pick and choose, sit and lose, all you different crews. Chicks and dudes, who you think is really kicking tunes. Picture you getting down in the picture tube, like you lit the fuse. You think it's fictional, mystical, maybe spiritual hero who appears on you to clear your view, and you're too crazy. Lifeless to those, the definition for what life is. Priceless to you because I put you on the hype ship. Did you like it? Blood smoking righteous with one token. You're psychic among those possess you with one. I ain't happy. I'm feeling glad I got sunshine in a bag. I'm useless, but not for long. The future is coming on. I ain't happy. I'm feeling glad I got sunshine in a bag. I'm useless, but not for long. The future, that's why it's coming on. 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 The essence, the basis, wait, I did you make it? Allow me to make this childlike in nature. Rhythm, you have it or you don't. That's a fallacy. I'm every sprouting tree, every child of peace, every cloud and sea. You see with your eyes as I see destruction and demise, corruption in the skies. It's for this fucking enterprise. Now I'm sucking to your lies. It's the rustle, not his muscles, but percussion he provides. For me as a guy, y'all can see me now, cause you don't see with your eye, you perceive with your mind. That's the inner fudge. I'ma stick around with us and be a minute. Bust a few raps from other guys to remember where the thought is. I brought all this, and you can survive with laws lawless. Feeling sensations that you thought was death, no squealing, and remember that it's all in your head. I ain't happy. I'm feeling glad I got sunshine in a bag. I'm useless, but not for long. The future is coming on. I ain't happy. I'm feeling glad I got sunshine in a bag. I'm useless, but not for long. My future is coming on. It's coming on. It's coming on. My future is coming on.
So take your weight off of me. I know your every move, so won't you just let me be. I've been at times before, but I was too blind to see that you seduce every man. This time you won't seduce me. No, not me, fact. She's saying that's okay, hey baby, do what you please. I have the stuff that you want, I am the thing that you need. She looked me deep in the eye, she's touching me so to start. She said there's no turning back, she trapped me in her heart. Dirty Diana, Dirty Diana, Dirty Diana. Let me be. She like the boys in the
Down What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Hustler and Muscular in the building once again. Always chilling. So, ladies, please get out of your goddamn feelings. How is everybody doing tonight? Hope everyone's all right because this show is gonna be out of sight. Believe you can achieve, and I will never ever deceive. Nice to join me today. Oh, shout out to my A1 Day One, always to the Slay One, Angela C. How you be? Your Discourse top tier MVP, and my other top tier supporter from across the border, always maintaining my law and order. Centicle, unpredictable, always at your pentacle. Nice of you to drop by, my lady. Nice of you to drop by as well. Yeah, I got my top tier supporters in the building. So, yeah, you can best believe I'm going to try to put on a good show for y'all. I mean, come on. If it wasn't for these two lovely ladies right here, I don't know what I'd be doing right now. Wasn't for their motivation, I don't know what I'd be doing. So, yeah, you got to give it up for my two top tier supporters, Angela C. and the cynical one. All right. For those of y'all listening in, excuse me, just had something to eat. Here's the information to my Cash App. If anybody want to donate, it's also pinned in the chat as well. If anybody wants to donate, feel free to do so. You don't have to if you don't want to, but donations are very much appreciated. I would love it. And but hey, I don't do this for the money, just so y'all know. I do this for the entertainment, the edutainment aspect, and to bring people together, because that's what I like to do up in here. Now, please do this for me as you all are coming in.
Like, comment, and subscribe because it's just what the doctor prescribed.
All right. Now that we got that out the way, I just got one question for everybody out there.
The question is, are you ready?
And now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Yeah, let's get ready to rumble. Yeah. Now, I got two important topics I want to cover. Yesterday, I talked about the shift in the dating market, but I didn't go too in depth with it. In fact, I did two shows where I talked about the shift in the dating market, but now we're going to cover another important aspect of the changes in our dating market, because we all know the dating market is not what it used to be. We've gone from trying to meet people concretely to simply relying on dating apps and all that kind of shit. But hey, I think there's more to this shift than meets the eye, because now I'm going to cover something that I myself have been thinking about even as a man in his early 40s. Yes, I'm an old man. You ain't got to rub it in. But I'm going to react to something that's often had me thinking about some things. Throughout my 20s, when I didn't have anything, I was just going to school, going to work at my part-time job, didn't have much value compared to the girls in my school. Now that I'm older and I got some, I'm more financially stable now than I was back then. So it kind of makes me wonder, do I still have a chance of finding a woman, or am I just missing something? So yeah, I'm going to do a reaction to a video that might hit harder on this better than I could. And this was very interesting. And by the way, ladies, don't get triggered by this shit. As Bronsberg would say, shout out to the Birdman, do not get all in your feet over the stuff that I'm going to react to. If it doesn't apply, no need to give me no harsh replies. Okay? Okay. Shout out to Psycho Zone. This one says, why women over 40 suddenly want average men. This is why. Yep, after looking at this, it got me wondering about this strange change in our dating market. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Let's get into this. All right, fair use.
You're 42 years old, same receding hairline, same dad bod, same average income. But suddenly, women who wouldn't even read your messages 15 years ago are now messaging you first.
Wow.
What changed? Here's the uncomfortable truth, and stick with me till the end, because what I'm about to reveal will completely change how you see dating forever.
Really?
I keep seeing this everywhere, and maybe you've noticed it too. Average men in their 40s, not millionaires, not fitness models, just regular guys, are suddenly getting female
Yeah, not the so-called high-value men that the women spoke of in their 20s. Yeah.
attention they've never experienced before. Women with master's degrees, women with successful careers, attractive women, accomplished, the whole package. And these guys are confused. They're asking themselves, did I finally make it? Did I suddenly become attractive? But here's the question that should bother you. When exactly did you become more attractive?
Well, it's been said that a man's value lies in his ability to build, provide, and protect. Yeah. So those are the things that could make a man attractive. But as far as physical appearances are concerned, yeah. Maybe that's what they're kind of getting at here. I mean, come on, you're the same bald-headed, average-looking dude you were 25, 30 years ago. 30 years later, you just got more money, you're more financially stable, and now you're able to actually provide a better life for yourself. So did you really improve yourself? Maybe you did. But when you consider how much attention older women are giving you, now you got to think about this. Maybe the dating market has shifted so much that women that you could never get in high school or college are now looking in your direction, not because you become a better man, but because, well, their options have run out. That's basically what he's getting at. As an older woman, your options that you had in high school and college have dwindled. So now you're willing to settle for the same average-looking dudes who are no longer the broke dusty as they were in high school and college because you can't do any better. Your options have dwindled. The dating market has shifted in your favor. Now, I know this can be dejecting towards women because now it's like, oh, I don't have nobody to choose from, so I'm dating out of convenience. But it can be dejecting towards men because we think we're getting better and better and better every day, learning new skills and earning more money. Now we got to look at ourselves and start thinking, why did I really get better, or the dating market just shift more in my favor? It's like letting somebody win a match just so they can feel better about themselves. That would be like me squaring up against Mike Tyson after he done took some sleeping medication. So he's not going to fight me to his fullest. He's just going to fight, give less than 100% of himself just so I can look good. That's kind of what the dating market may look like for older men, getting attention from women their own ages now that they're older and wiser. But let's hear more about this. Fair use.
Was it when you lost more hair? When did your metabolism slow down? When you got those stress lines from a decade of corporate pressure? Think about it for a second. The answer is simple. You didn't. You didn't suddenly transform into the man women always wanted. Something else changed entirely.
Yeah, the dating market changed.
The market changed.
Absolutely.
And once you understand what actually happened in the dating marketplace, you'll never look at this sudden attention the same way again. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what shifted, why women over 40 are finally noticing you, and most importantly, what you should actually do with this newfound attention. Because trust me, the answer isn't what you think. Let me show you what's really going on. Let me tell you about Mike. He's 43, makes about $75,000 a year, drives a Toyota, lives in a decent apartment. Nothing special. In his 20s, Mike was invisible to women. He'd send 20 messages on dating apps, maybe get one response. Dates were rare. Relationships, even rarer. Now, his phone is buzzing. Women are initiating conversations. Women are asking him out. Women are being flexible about things they used to call deal breakers.
Really?
Mike called me last month, genuinely confused. What's happening? Did I glow up or something?
Could be.
I had to break it to him. Mike, look in the mirror. You're less attractive now than you were at 25.
Now, to be fair, some men can improve their appearances as they get older. I mean, regardless of whatever you may have lost. I mean, look at me. I lost most of my hair by age 29. So I just shaved my head and trimmed my beard, and I still look good as ever. But I'll let the ladies be the judge as to whether or not I look better with hair or without hair. Just saying. But hey, you can lose some of these things and still keep yourself looking good as long as you take care of yourself properly. But what he's saying is his friend is pretty much the same guy he was when he was in his 20s. The same awkward, hardworking, intelligent man he was, and awkward when it came to women. So did he suddenly just get better by improving his life and finances? No, he didn't. The dating market just shifted to where those same girls that he couldn't get in high school and college are now, they don't have the same options anymore. So now they're just taking whatever. This man's friend could be more of a convenience, if anything. Just saying, but fair use.
Less hair, more weight, more stress. But the women messaging you, their options changed. See, something happened in the dating market that nobody wants to talk about openly.
I mean, seriously, if you got women not only messaging you first, but they're agreeing to do things that they normally would not have done in their 20s, you got to think about that kind of shit. Think of it like this. Men, ever had a woman that rejected you in high school or college, but then 20 years later, now she wants to be with you? Now she's attracted to you after you done glowed up or whatever the fuck? Kind of like that. Only difference is, the only big difference is you may have gotten better financially. You may have gotten better financially, but these are females who never paid attention to you, never looked in your direction. But now all of a sudden, out of the blue, they're just hitting you up not because, well, you've gotten better, but because their options have dwindled. The dating market has changed, and now they're just looking to get with whoever and whatever the fuck will take them. So you got to think about that kind of stuff. Just saying, but fair use.
It's happening in every major city. It's happening on every dating app. It's creating a complete reversal of power dynamics, and it has nothing to do with you becoming more desirable. Here's the thing that's going to sound harsh, but is mathematically true. For every woman messaging you now at 40, there's a very specific reason she wouldn't have at 25.
Because at 25, she had a whole lot of other men that wanted to be with her. And maybe you just weren't her type at the time. You were too boring, this, that, and the third. But after all those exciting men had their fun with her, now she ready to settle down with a good man at 30 when she's older, set in her ways, don't have really anybody to talk to. So now she's just eager for it. Now, men, if you were getting that same kind of attention in your 20s, then hey, good for you. This doesn't apply to you. But to you men who were not getting all that attention in your 20s, now all of a sudden you hit 30, 31, 32. Now you got women flooding your Instagrams and flooding your DMs. This explains why that's really happening. So please listen in. Fair use.
And understanding that reason is the difference between making a massive mistake and making the smartest decision of your life. Because here's what I see happening. Good men, average men who finally have options, are jumping at the first woman who shows interest. They're so grateful for the attention that they don't stop to ask the most important question. Why now? What happened between 25 and 40 that made you suddenly good enough? And more importantly,
yeah, why couldn't she get you when she was young in her prime and not old in her decline? Good question.
What does that tell you about what you actually represent to her? Let me show you how the market actually worked when she was 25. Fast forward to 32. Jessica's doing better professionally now. Maybe she's making $70,000, has a nice apartment, and travels twice a year. By society's standards, she's winning. But something's different on the dating apps. The matches are slowing down. Not dramatically at first, just enough to notice. Those successful men in their late 30s and 40s who used to take her to expensive restaurants, they're still on the apps, but they're not matching with her anymore. Want to know why? They're dating 25-year-olds, women who look exactly like Jessica did 7 years ago.
Oh, wow. So the same men that this young lady used to date when she was in her 20s, the 30, 40-year-olds, are no longer checking for her now that she's in her 30s. Instead, they're going for other women who were once her age. Now, me personally, I prefer women my own age. I'm not going to be 41 years old getting with some 20-year-old. To me, that just looks awkward because she's not my peer. I prefer females at least in their 30s. So to be fair, not every older man out here of high value is dealing with some 20-something-year-old woman. And let's also be for real. A lot of them 20-something-year-olds only want you because you have money. That's something you got to think about as well. Has the dating market really shifted more in your favor, making you more attractive? Or are you just another commodity for these women to snatch up? Think about that. You can't date younger because they want you only for money, but you can't date older because they just want you as a convenience. Like, yeah, I couldn't find a man on my level in my 20s. So now I'm getting old and my clock is ticking down. Now I'm going to take whoever comes my way. I'm going to start messaging first and doing the shit that I wasn't doing in my 20s to the men that I would never date when I was in my 20s. That's basically what's happening here based on what he's explaining. But fair use.
Here's the brutal reality of her 30s. She's now competing with a younger version of herself, and she's losing that competition every single time. Think about it from the successful 40-year-old man's perspective. He can date a 32-year-old woman with relationship baggage, rising expectations, and increasing urgency about kids.
Yeah. But I cannot, and that's why a lot of men don't want women their own ages. I don't agree with that 100%, but that's one of the reasons why they don't want nobody their own age. Because let's face it, a lot of women past 35 or past 30, I should say, they do come with baggage. They are kind of set in their ways. They have a lot of relationship issues from the past. I mean, we've all dated somebody, I guess, all been with somebody bad. But why deal with an older person who has all that baggage, all that relationship in her, excuse me, all these past relationships in her background when you can get a younger woman who has little to none of that baggage? Makes sense when you think about it. But then again, one could argue that if a man is over the age of 30, he has no business pursuing youth, beauty, and fertility. Maybe he should go for the older woman who has the baggage and is set in her ways. After all, the same thing probably applies to the older gentleman. He's probably old, set in his ways. So it may make more sense to get with a woman his own age, 35, 40 years old. That way they can be evenly yoked. Because again, if a 40-year-old gets with a 20-year-old, chances are she's using him just for his money. But the women his own age are just getting with him out of convenience. So it's more of a damned if you do, damned if you don't, double-edged sword type situation. But that's just my opinion. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments what you think. Let's continue. Fair use.
Or he can date a 25-year-old with none of those complications.
Absolutely. Little to no baggage whatsoever.
Which do you think he chooses? The quality of her matches decreases. The doctors and lawyers are gone. Now she's getting interest from middle managers and sales guys.
The doctors, lawyers, and ECOs that were dealing with her in her 20s, now they've moved on and met other women who are at one point her age. Yeah.
Still decent men, but not the caliber she got used to in her 20s. And this is where something fascinating happens. Instead of adjusting her expectations to match reality, she creates explanations. Where are all the good men? Everyone's already taken. Men are intimidated by successful women.
Men are intimidated by successful women. I'm calling cap. Triple cap.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit.
C-A-P. Cap.
C-A-P. Cap. Cap. C-A-P. Cap.
Yep, that's just a bunch of cap. A man can't handle a strong, independent woman. They're intimidated by it. It's not your finances, it's not your independence, it's the messed up attitude associated with the independence. We want women to be independent and sufficient, but we don't want the nasty attitude that comes behind it. That's all we're saying. Learn to humble yourself and be realistic with your damn standard. That's what we're concerned with.
Men can't.
Because even if you did meet a man that met your standards or whatever, is that man of high value going to put up with your funky attitude? No, he's not. Because he's a man of value and self-worth, he's not going to tolerate your bullshit. Y'all going to be having verbal sparring sessions every day, if not every other day. Every other day, if not every day. So what man wants to tolerate that? They never do ask themselves, what if they met the man of their dreams, but Is she worthy of him? Are they worthy of these kind of men? Just saying, but fair use.
Handle a strong, independent woman. You see what she's doing? She's protecting her ego. Because admitting the truth, that the market shifted and she's no longer the hottest commodity, would destroy her self-image. So her standards stay the same while her options keep declining. She's still filtering for 6-foot-tall, six-figure men.
At 40 plus, at 30 plus years old, yeah.
Still swiping left on average guys. And the clock keeps ticking. Somewhere between 36 and 40, everything changes. And I mean everything. That biological clock she could ignore in her 20s, it's not anymore. It's screaming. She wants kids. The window isn't closing. It's slammed shut. And medical science doesn't care about her career achievements or her independence. Here are the numbers nobody wants to discuss. At 25, she had about a 25% chance pregnancy per cycle. At 40,
With the exception of some that can't have kids yet.
that drops to 5%. By 45, it's less than 1%.
Yep, that's the thing. But as women age, their ability to give birth kind of declines. You can ignore that shit when you're young and in your 20s, but it's hard to ignore that when you're in your 30s. Men don't have that issue too much because we don't have a biological clock. However, as we get older, our testosterone starts to die down. So yeah, we have to try to beat that system by taking care of ourselves and being healthy. Is it possible to have kids past 45? Yes, but is it going to be a high-risk pregnancy? Absolutely, yes, it will. Are there going to be some chances that the child won't be born healthy? Yes, there is. That's why you have to do all this extra medical shit to ensure that your child is born healthy. It's a egregious process from what I hear anyway. Look what happened with Janet Jackson, who got pregnant at 50. Nobody knows what she had to go through, but she got the money and the resources for it. Just saying, fair use.
This isn't opinion. This isn't negotiable. This is cold, hard biology.
And you cannot argue biology, yeah.
But even if she doesn't want kids, she's facing a different nightmare. Look at her dating pool now. The successful men her age, most are married or in serious relationships. The ones who they're either dating women 10, 15 years younger, or they have red flags she can't ignore anymore. Date younger men in their 30s? Those guys are doing exactly what the older men did to her, dating women in their 20s. Dating older men in their 50s? Now she's dealing with health issues, potential complications, and their baggage for failed marriages. The pool of acceptable, available men isn't just smaller. It's basically gone. We're talking about 5 to 10% of what she had at 25. This is when average men suddenly...
Yeah, she wants to notice the so-called average-looking men after she done squander her 20s, probably partying, smoking, and or focusing on a career. Now she wants to go for those average men she probably would have said no to if she was 10, 20 years younger.
Remember those guys making $60,000 she filtered out at 25? The ones who were 5, 10 inches instead of 6 feet? The ones driving Hondas instead of BMWs? They suddenly look different.
Yeah, and she sees them as something different, not because it's possible she may have grown up and matured, but another aspect of this is the dating market has shifted so out of her favor that she just can't help but look at the same average looking men that she would have said no to if she was in her 20s. In other words, she's looking for a convenient companion, not so much a healthy relationship. She had that chance when she was in her 20s, but she squandered it. Just saying, fair use.
Not because they changed, because her alternatives disappeared. That's you. You're not suddenly more attractive. You're suddenly the best option left in a pool that evaporated while she was busy filtering for perfection.
Absolutely. And like I said, this can be dejecting for men as well, because older men can have this narrative that they're older, they're wiser, they've gotten better, and now women are finally checking for them. While yes, gentlemen, you may have gotten older, wiser, and better at life, but in terms of the dating market, it may tell a whole different story. You being older and wiser is probably not the reason why women your own age are suddenly checking for you and making the first moves or being upfront about what they want. They're doing that because they're getting eager They're basically getting desperate and they'll take anything. I mean, for all you know, this chick would have said no to you 25, 10, 20, 15, 20 years ago. But since you're the best she can find and she doesn't have the same options she had in her 20s, now she's settling for you. That can be dejecting, honestly. Why should I work my ass off to be the best version of myself only to be a woman's convenience? Now, if you're like me and just don't give a shit because you're looking for a female companion to fuck on, I guess that shouldn't be a problem. But for those of us who want relationships, that could be a problem. You should not try. You should not be somebody's convenience if you're looking for a serious relationship. Just saying. Fair use.
You're not her dream. You're her reality check.
You're not her dream man. You're her reality man.
And here's what you need to understand about what that actually means. If you're getting attention from women over 40 who wouldn't have given you a chance 15 years ago, here's what you need to understand. You are not her dream. You are her available option. There's a massive difference.
In other words, she's dating you out of desperation and convenience.
Let me show you how to tell if she's genuinely interested or just settling because her clock ran out.
Yep. Now, this is the important part. So for those of y'all, especially you gentlemen out there, listen to this part, 'cause this is where it gets a bit sticky. Listen to this, what this man has to say.
Sign #1. She's in a hurry. Talking about moving in after 3 months, bringing up marriage after 6 dates, mentioning kids on date 2. This isn't because you're so amazing she can't risk losing you. This is deadline pressure. She's operating on borrowed time.
There you go. So any gentleman listening back there, have you ever met a woman who was just eager to move in with you after knowing you for less than a year, or brought up marriage or having kids after knowing you for less than a year? Now you know why she's doing that. I mean, for the record, I recommend you don't bring up this kind of shit early into the relationship. Get to know the person first. But if you ever experienced a time where women were bringing this shit up in your face after knowing you for less than a year, now you know why they're doing this. Now you understand why they're doing that. Because I've heard stories of women who just want to move. I've heard stories about women moving in with men after knowing them for about 6 months or so, or move in without getting married. Me personally, I recommend you don't move in with somebody unless y'all are at the very least engaged. I recommend you marry you at the very least get engaged first, if not get married before moving in with someone. But when you got older women talking about moving in and having kids early into the relationship, now you know why she's doing that. This may not apply to every situation, but just be aware of this. Just saying. Fair use.
Sign #2. She still talks about her type. Listen for phrases like, I usually date taller guys. I'm normally attracted to more ambitious men. I typically go for someone more successful.
Has any woman ever said that to you? I mean, the most I've ever heard a woman say, normally I go for men. Normally I don't go for younger men, but there's something about you, hustler, that I like so much. This may not be the same situation, but it's kind of in the same context. Meaning I'm outside her general preference as far as age, as far as the age range is concerned. That's the most I've had to hear. Like, normally I don't go for men younger than me, but I like you. There's something about you that I like so much. That's the most I've had to hear. But what this man is talking about is when you got your current partner constantly comparing you to the men she used to date when she was younger. Like, I usually go for more ambitious, taller, this, that, and the third. I usually go for guys who do this. Most guys I know would have done this for me. Most guys would have did that for me. If she's saying shit like that to you, clearly you are not her first choice. You're her best. You're probably the best she can do. And again, she's dating you out of pure desperation, not because she actually likes you. Any female that wants to compare you to past partners is definitely not into you like that. Same thing with the men comparing their current girlfriends to the girls they smashed in the past. Like, oh, her pussy was way better than yours. My girl used to do this. Man, fuck all that. Focus on who you got in front of you instead of focusing on who you dealt with in the past. Just saying. Fair use.
She's literally telling you that you don't fit her preferences, but she's making an exception because she has to. Sign #3. Visible disappointment. Watch her face when she sees your apartment isn't as nice as she hoped. When your car is practical instead of impressive. when you suggest a weekend camping trip instead of Paris. She's constantly recalibrating her expectations downward. Sign #4.
Yeah. If you're a man that can't feed her a lavish lifestyle and she's left with nothing but disappointment, there's another sign that she wasn't really interested in you like that from the beginning. Again, you're just a convenience for her. If she's constantly comparing you to what other men used to do, or comparing your lifestyle to the lifestyle she's accustomed to when she was younger, that tell you right there she don't like it like that. But let's continue. Fair use.
Constant comparisons. She references ex-boyfriends who were more successful, talks about the life she imagined versus what you can provide. She's mourning what she thought she deserved. Here's what's changed. For the first time in your adult life, you have leverage. At 40, your dating pool is massive. You can date women from roughly 25 to 45.
Now, my question is this. Do older men really have that many options with the younger women? And by that, I mean, are 40-year-old men really attracting 20-something-year-olds, or are these young girls only using them just for their money? Because I've always been of the mind that younger women basically date older men primarily for their financial stability, not because they actually love and care about them. They'll be the older men will financially provide for them, while the younger men will be piping them down and giving them dick every day or whenever it's convenient for them. Again, I knew a homegirl from college who was in a relationship with a 45-year-old man, but that didn't stop her from trying to get at my dick, now did it? So I've experienced that before. I've seen that before. I knew older women, I knew young girls on my college campus who claimed that they had 35, 32, 33-year-old boyfriends or whatever. Older men, but still had time to hang out with the young guys on campus. So watch out for that. As soon as you pay off her financial aid and pay for all her school, she gonna ditch you for somebody else, because now she feel like she don't need you anymore. So watch out for all those goddamn traps. Just saying, fair use.
That's 20 years of options. Women in their late 20s often find established men attractive. Women in their 30s appreciate your stability. Even women your age are competing for your attention now. Her dating pool? It shrunk by 90%. This means you can actually be selective for once. You can filter based on genuine attraction, not just gratitude for attention, character and compatibility, not desperation, shared values, not shared timelines, real chemistry, not biological panic. You don't have to accept interest just because it's finally being offered. The question is, what are you going to do with this power? You now understand what changed. You see the market dynamics clearly.
Yeah, now you understand that she has no genuine interest in you. She's just with you for the convenience. So now what do you do with that power? That was me. I'll just move accordingly. Yes, I like you. I want to be around you, but I don't want to marry you because I was never because I'm the best you can get, not the one you actually want. So you got to watch out for that. Shout out to IB Ward there for stopping by. What's good with you, my guy? All right, let's continue. Fair use.
So here's the question that actually matters. What are you going to do with this information? You have 3 paths forward. Let me break them down. You can date women over 40, but go in with your eyes open. Understand what you're getting. More baggage, potential ex-husbands in the picture, kids with their own complications, urgent timelines, and constant comparison to her past.
Yep, who wants to deal with that? Who wants to deal with some female that's busy comparing you to her past lovers? That come with baggage, they're set in their ways, so I can understand that. And I know what some of y'all are thinking. At 40 years old, I still have older men sliding in my DMs trying to get at me and have sex with me. I still get that kind of attention. But my first question is, who's making the first move on who? Are you making the first move, or are they making the first move? Because as we just established earlier, by the time they reach that age, they're the ones making the first move, hitting up men that they would never go for. So who's making the first move? And second of all, why do those men your age want you? Do they want you for relationships or just for fun? And don't say it's a younger man, because as someone who's dated older women, like I was 29 dealing with this 36-year-old, the one who said that normally she don't date younger men, but she likes something about me. Yeah, we messed around for a couple of months, but hey, it didn't turn to no relationship, and I'm glad it didn't. I just gave her access to this PP, and we just kept it simple. No emotions, none of that stuff, just sexual gratification. So yeah, younger men will only go for you when they just want sexual gratification. I know I've done it before, so I know that kind of shit happens. But I digress. Fair use.
This can work. People do build genuine relationships, but don't romanticize it. Know that you might represent her compromise, not her choice.
Yep, you are her compromise, not her choice. That's deep right there.
If you're established and reasonably attractive, women in their late 20s or 30s might be genuinely interested. You're offering stability they value. They're offering fewer complications and no biological panic.
Yeah, emphasis on the word fewer, because let's face it, it's a lot of 20-something-year-olds popping out babies and getting baggage too. So you can't put an age on somebody's quality. So you have to watch out for that as well. Fear you.
The power dynamic actually favors you here. You're the high value part. No desperate time. No resentment about that. Your peace. No relationship. If the options don't excite you, don't settle just because women are finally showing interest. You spent your 20s and 30s being filtered out. Don't waste your 40s accepting whoever's left. Here's what matters most. There's a profound difference between being chosen because someone desires you and being chosen because someone's alternatives disappeared.
Damn, that's deep right there. That's some deep shit right there. Fear use.
You can build something real with someone who initially saw you as a compromise. But you should enter that dynamic understanding what it is, not what you wish it were. The market shifted. You now have power you didn't have before. For the first time, you can demand to be someone's genuine choice, not their last resort. Don't waste this opportunity on someone who's simply locking down the best remaining option before time runs out completely. If this video opened your eyes to dynamics you've been experiencing but couldn't articulate, do me a favor. Hit that like button so more men can see this truth. Subscribe because I'm breaking down dating market realities that nobody else will talk about honestly. And here's what I want you to do right now. Comment below with which path you're choosing. Path 1, 2, or 3. Be honest, because your answer tells me what video I need to make next. Drop a 1, 2, or 3 inches in the comments. And if you know a guy in his 40s who needs to hear this, and trust me, you do, send him this video. The market corrected. The question is, are you going to use your newfound leverage wisely or waste it on someone who finally noticed you only because everyone else disappeared? The choice is yours. Choose consciously.
Well, that's the video. Well, that's the video, ladies and gentlemen. What you had to what did y'all think about that? What did y'all think about that? That's one of the major shifts in our dating market. Those same females who said no to you in your 20s and in your teens and 20s are now starting to notice you in your 30s and 40s, not because well, it's possible that they've grown up and matured. But my thing about growing up in maturity is that it has a time frame. You only have so much time before you can learn and grow. Past a certain age, you're just old, set in your ways, and can't be told jack shit. So you're 45 and still trying to learn and grow, in my humble opinion, you sound like a lost cause to me. But it's possible for people to grow up and mature and realize that these were good men. The only problem is, are you getting with those men because you genuinely want them, or you getting with those men because they're the best you can do? Because the same men you wanted in your 20s are no longer interested in you. That's basically what he was saying. So fellas, watch out for that. Me personally, I probably wouldn't give a damn. If she's my age or older and she wants to hook up every now and then, I might indulge in it, but I don't want a relationship with her. Would you have, if this was at least 10 years ago, would you have said yes to me then? If the answer is no, then what the hell are we talking about here? Because trust me, some of y'all ladies know whether or not y'all would have accepted a man's offer 10, 15, 20 years ago. Would you have dated this man if you had met him 10, 20 years ago? You know the answer to that question. So you know what the hell you're doing. Are you really choosing the best option, or are you just choosing what's available to you? And also understand, being a woman's first choice should not be the issue, as long as you are her best choice of all the men she's dealt with. Because you can't be the first and then be the worst all the time. Because not every person that's married chose that person first. They may have been second or third, but they were the best of the bunch. Settling is not such a bad thing if done correctly. Settling with someone that's the best of your options is good, but settling for someone that's just a convenience for you, that's a problem. That is a major fucking problem. But that's all I got to say about that. Okay. But anyhow, okay, so what I'm going to do right now is take a brief string break. And if anybody comes up before I get back, just sit tight and relax. I'll be back as soon as possible. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, please sit back. I'll be right back. Sit back, relax, and I'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
So take your weight off of me. I know your every move, so won't you just let me be. I've been at times before, but I was too blind to see that you seduce every man. This time you won't seduce me. No, not me. Fact. She's saying that's okay. Hey baby, do what you please. I have the stuff that you want, I am the thing that you need. She looked me deep in the eyes, she's touching me so to start. She said there's no turning back, she trapped me in a heart. Dirty Diana, dirty Diana, dirty Diana. Let me be. She like the boys in the band. She knows when they come to town. Every musician's fan. After the curtain comes down, she waits at backstage doors for those who have prestige, who promise fortune and fame, a life that's so carefree. She's saying that's okay. Hey baby, do what you want. I'll be your night loving, I'll be the free you can tone. And I don't care what you say, I wanna go too far. I'll be your everything if you made me a slime. Dirty Diana, dirty Diana, dirty Diana. Let me be. Diana, Diana. She said I had to go, cause I'm real tired, you see. But I hate sleeping alone. Why don't you come with me? I said my baby's at home. She's probably worried tonight. I didn't call on the phone to say that I'm alright. Diana walked up to me, she said I'm all yours tonight. Then I ran to the phone saying, baby, I'm alright. I said, but unlock the door, cause I forgot the keys. He said he's not coming back, cause he's sleeping with me. Dirty Diana, dirty Diana.
I done rolled up like 5 blunts. Whole pack got me dead as fuck, but you know that we smoked it up. Me and my niggas really be high as fuck. What you know about that married bitch? Smoke so much I can never ditch, like an ex bitch. Fuck that lame bitch, I got my main bitch and I never switch. On God. Smoking my blood in the whips of the moon. Whole fucking vision went straight to cartoon. Driving so slow like a road on the moon. Bout to hit downtown real quick, get my food. This shit go hit like a song, chop the screw. Hop on the beat and you know I spit true. Close boys don't keep me really the move. Making good numbers, don't can't see the proof. Uptown, blunt south, when we pulling up. Pound on pound, bitch, we just doubled up. Uptown, blunt south, when we pulling up. Downtown, sound loud, bitch, I'ma spark it up. Quick with the echo shot, car hop, put some black pants. 2 cash, think I got a cut back. Walking on my dog with a blunt in my hand. Think about tonight, I don't want it to end. Eat the beat like an animal, girl, you so damn valuable. God damn it, would I ever know we'll be inseparable since the beginning. Now we doing picnics, what you ask for rip this, bitch, I'm rolling up another. First saw you from a distance, put you on my hit list, knew you'd be my lover. Now we doing this shit, what you ask I hit this, bitch, I'm rolling up another. I done put you on my wish list, hanging with you, makes me miss this, I don't wanna find another.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. Now, before I continue with this show, let me give a special shout out to my top tier supporter, Angela C, for that $3 cash app she just sent me. My bad, my girl. I just got up and I noticed it. Forgive me for being a little late, but shout out to you, Angela C. How you be? Your Discord's top tier MVP. Yeah, really appreciate the super chat you sent me. Shout out to you.
In my blood, call it homegrown. Puerto Rican testosterone. Power and money got me crazy cocky. No longer need you, Poppy. I know you're mad because you can't stop me. And if you wonder how this player done scooped your honey, I think she smell my cologne. It's called brand new money. Making major moves, ain't a damn thing funny. Pimpin' hood rats to Playboy bunnies. They see the. They see it. They see.
Yeah, shout out to my top tier supporter, Angela C, for that $3 super chat. Really appreciate it, my girl. Really appreciate it. I don't know why this damn thing keep acting funny, but it is what it is. I gotta do something. I gotta do better with this shit. Yeah, but it is what it is. I'm back to critique another one before I get into my main event video. All right, now let's get into my next video that I'm going to react to. Okay, shout out to The Virtuous Woman 1969. Yeesh, that's a long time, yeah. No doubt, Generation X. Okay. This says, why delusional older single women try to rewind the clock, making fools of themselves. Very good question. Well, let's hear what she has to say on this. All right, fair use.
Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. Today, we're getting real about something that's become all too common in today's culture. The Forever 25 illusion. Why some older single women are trying to rewind the clock and making a fool out of themselves. Everywhere you look, from social media to nightlife scenes, you see grown women clinging to the fantasy of eternal youth. They're dressing like teenagers, talking like influencers, and chasing the same validation they sought decades ago. But behind the filters, wigs, and waist trainers lies a hard truth.
Really?
Time is undefeated. And no matter how much money is spent on makeup, surgeries, or attention-seeking behavior, the clock doesn't stop ticking. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to support the channel, hit that super thanks button.
I mean, to be fair, we kind of see this a lot. I see a lot of women in their 40s and 50s who still want to dress like teenagers, but yet the funny thing is they want to critique how older men dress. I mean, why is it okay for older women to wear shit like this, like they're still in their damn 20s, but when older men do that, it's suddenly a problem? How about both men and women act and dress their own goddamn ages? Just saying. That's the way it needs to be. How about we all just act our ages and stop trying to turn back the clock? I never thought about doing that kind of shit before. Now, there's nothing wrong with you dressing a little young. You know, you can still look sexy at almost any age. But I think what she's referring to is when you have women over the age of 35 who's still trying to live it up like they're still in their 20s instead of just putting all that shit behind them. They still want to go to the clubs and throw it in a circle for random men. They still want to thirst trap on the internet, the same shit that the 20-something-year-olds did. Now, you can look sexy at any age, but you got to move a little differently. You can't be thirst trapping like you did when you was younger. And I think this is what happens when you stay single for too long. You never do grow out of that, I want to have sex, get it in, and I'm horny all day phase. You never grow out of that when you stay single. Because you don't see married folks moving like this. So to me, this is just what happens when you stay single past a certain age. Just saying. Fair use.
Forever 25 illusion. The Forever 25 illusion. Why some older women are trying to rewind the clock. In a culture obsessed with youth, social media filters, and endless anti-aging products, a growing number of older women are feeling the pressure to stay forever 25. Instead of embracing maturity, wisdom, and the beauty that comes with experience, many are chasing a second adolescence, trying to dress, act, date, and live like women half their age. But the results often look less like empowerment and more like a performance that invites the wrong kind of attention.
It really does.
The culture of denial. We live in a society that fears aging. Women are told their worth peaks in youth when they are most desired, most visible, and most socially valued. So instead of transitioning gracefully into a new life stage, some try to freeze themselves in time. Cosmetic procedures, extreme fashion choices, TikTok dances, hot girl summer slogans at 52.
Hot girl summer slogans at fucking 52 years old. All I can say. The price ain't right. The price ain't right.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
You can't make this shit up. This is what I'm talking about. You can look sexy at 52 years old, but you can't be talking about, I'm going to have a hot girl summer, or you're trying to compete with your now grown up daughter. Come on, that shit is not cool. And even though we put up with this by moving accordingly, we notice this shit. We notice a lot of older women our age who are probably trying to relive their 20s and shit. A lot of times we don't care because we're just trying to have our little freaky fun with these women. Maybe I don't pay much attention to it 'cause I like my woman to look young and sexy and everything, but I want her to acknowledge the fact that she's not in her 20s, gone out of days of going to the clubs, gone out of days of us being out at 10, 11 o'clock at night. We too old for that kind of shit now. I think it's how you move that needs to go hand in hand with the presentation. I mean, you're going to wear booty shorts at that age. You better be wearing it just for your man and not to show off for the goddamn crowd. Who wants to see a 40-plus-year-old female in booty shorts that's not her current companion? Not a lot of people want to see that, but a 20-something-year-old, yes, that's what they want to see. Of course, there are exceptions to the rules like myself. I want women over the age of 30. The oldest I'll probably go is 50-something years old. I like my older women more so than the younger women. But that's because we can consider each other peers. But to see that, but to see a 42-year-old woman or 52-year-old woman in booty shorts, that's not too appealing in my eyes. And I've seen that shit too. During the summertime, I be seeing women my age wearing stuff like this. I don't care for it. Hell, I may even pull up and holler at them. But do I want to take them seriously? Fuck no. They're probably old, set in their ways, and don't know what the fuck they want at that old age. It's just ridiculous. But fair use.
Many are stuck in a loop of trying to reclaim what the world told them they're losing. But here's the truth.
Youth, beauty, and fertility. Yep.
Age is not the enemy. Pretending it hasn't arrived is.
Now that's deep. She said age is not the enemy. Pretending it hasn't arrived yet is the enemy. Yeah, you can age gracefully, embrace the fact that you're older, but don't act like that it hasn't arrived yet, like your time has not come. Time is up. The clock ticked down and you just don't want to acknowledge it. Yep. Continue.
The social media effect. Platforms like Instagram and TikTok have blurred the line between generations. A 55-year-old woman and a 22-year-old influencer can be posting the same pose, same wig, same dance, same soft life caption. But the internet is ruthless. Where young
If anything, a 55-year-old should be making videos of her in a business suit, giving money-making or corporate advices or giving some spiritual advice. Not twerking it up at that age. Even though we men may be intrigued by that, at the end of the day, we don't want to take that stuff seriously. The same way y'all look at men, older men with their pants hanging off their asses, we look at y'all the same way trying to dress young and shit. I understand some things in life we're never too old for, but I don't think this is one of them. Just saying. Fair use.
Younger women get praised, older women get mocked, called delusional, desperate, or still trying to be outside. Instead of celebrating maturity, society rewards imitation of youth. The tragedy, many women don't realize they're trying to compete in a game designed for them to lose.
Really?
The main piece of identity after youth. The deeper issue isn't makeup, fashion, or surgery. It's identity. A lot of women were never taught how to see value in themselves beyond attraction. If all you've ever been praised for is beauty, then aging feels like disappearing. That panic creates
Yeah, that's why. We all know the deal. Beauty fades, looks fade. Youth, beauty, and fertility will fade over time. But that's all you're valued for. Then, of course, you're going to feel kind of desperate when that shit goes away. I mean, the reason why you have old couples that stay together for 50, 60 years despite both losing youth and for losing their youth and their looks is because they valued each other for other things beyond just looks. A man and woman in their 70s can still be in love with each other because they had a better connection that was far beyond just physical appearance. They had a spiritual and emotional connection. So even when you lose your youth and your beauty, your partner is not going to lose his or her love for you, because they were there for you when you at your prime, and they continue to be there for you at your decline. That's how that works. So you can't just base a relationship off of just beauty alone or handsomeness for the men alone. Because once those things go away, then what the fuck are you left with? Just saying, but fair use.
dreams. Partying like a 20-year-old, dating men much younger, chasing validation
And yes, I dated younger women before, so yeah, I get it.
and through trends meant for a different season of life. What maturity actually offers. The irony is that older women have what most young women don't: life experience, emotional intelligence, stability, clarity, and a stronger sense of self.
Yeah, most, if not all, women have those attributes. But are they using those attributes wisely? Well, some of them are, and some of them are not. Unfortunately, some of them are not. Fair use.
They embrace it. The real glow up isn't pretending to be young, but mastering the stage you're in. A confident 50-year-old woman who owns her age is more powerful than a 50-year-old trying to cosplay 22.
Absolutely. Own your age, accept where you are, and still understand that you still have value in society that goes beyond just your outer beauty. Like she said, own your fucking age. Just saying. Fair use.
When it becomes a spectacle. The sad part is some women don't just age, they fight it loudly, publicly, and embarrassingly. Viral videos of club Annies, 60-year-olds saying, "I still got it," grandmothers twerking for likes, women competing with their daughters for attention.
Yeah, that shit ain't cool. Throw it in a circle for your husband or boyfriend, not for 1,000 strangers on the internet. Yeah.
It turns into a performance instead of a life. There's a growing number of women who refuse to accept aging with grace. Instead, they've fallen into what's being called the Forever 25 illusion. It's the desperate attempt to live in denial, to pretend that their 20s never ended. The result? Many are becoming caricatures of themselves, mimicking the looks, language, and lifestyle of a generation that doesn't even see them as peers. What once was a symbol of maturity and wisdom has turned into an embarrassing chase for relevance. Social media has made the problem worse.
He really
The
did.
constant flood of filters, cosmetic enhancements, and validation-seeking content has
Not to mention those filters that kind of disguise your face a little bit. Yep.
created an obsession with image. Older single women who once carried themselves with dignity are now competing for attention with younger women who have youth on their side.
Yeah. 50 years ago, no female was doing this bullshit. 60 years ago, maybe even 25, 30 years ago, no older woman was doing this kind of bullshit because we knew how to accept our age, accept where we stood, and knew how to age gracefully. I mean, come on. None of our grandmas back in the day were dressing like that at 45, 50 years old. Seriously. My mom was never dressing like this at 50 years old. Even if she had the body for it, it didn't matter. She knew how to dress herself more elegantly. So I don't understand what's wrong with this new generation of older women still trying to compete with the younger women. I never understood that. But I guess so, and I believe, like she said, social media has made the shit even worse. Just saying, fair use.
And because they can't turn back time, they overcompensate with loud personalities, exaggerated fashion, and provocative behavior, all in a misguided attempt to prove they still got it. But beneath the surface lies a quiet sadness. Many of these women aren't just fighting aging, they're fighting regret. They spent years prioritizing careers, independence, and fleeting pleasures over relationships and family. Now, as the years catch up, they realize the cost of those choices. The boss chick lifestyle sold them dreams of freedom. But reality is showing them the loneliness of trying to remain forever young in a world that values youth above all else.
Really?
Instead of embracing wisdom and experience, too many are trapped in the shallow pursuit of validation. Nightclubs.
I mean, to be fair, she does look good at her age, but seriously, could you older gentlemen take a woman like this seriously, knowing she's doing this kind of stuff on social media? Or would you just see her, admire her body, and if y'all end up hooking up, it's just going to be that, a hookup? Can y'all really take older women that do this kind of shit seriously? I mean, nothing wrong with you putting up pictures on social media, but when they're looking like this to where you're trying to compete with your younger self or your younger daughters, that could be a bit of a problem. I mean, how would y'all feel if y'all saw men trying to compete with their young sons by dressing like them and acting like them? I'm pretty sure we see a lot of that in this society where you got men in their 50s still wearing pants, hanging off their asses and shit. Me personally, I never did that, but hey, I knew of some men that did that, and it's like, why? Who wants to see your goddamn drawers when you go out in public? Seriously. I mean, when I was younger and I wore baggy pants, I wore my pants no more than an inch below my pelvis. That was it. That was the limit. No more than an inch or an inch and a half below the pelvis. That was it. So we knew how to wear our baggy pants with some style and some decency. But when you older doing that kind of shit, it's like, why are you doing this? You can still look good at your age, but you have to learn how to own the fact that you are of a certain age and stop trying to compete with the young ones. I never once tried to compete with no young 18, 19, 20-year-old. Let them dress how the fuck they want to dress. I'm going to dress how the fuck I need to dress. Bottom line, but fair use.
Filled with 45-year-old women partying with 20-year-old men have become symbols of a deeper crisis.
Now, ain't that some shit? You 45 years old trying to party with the 20-year-olds. What the fuck? And again, as someone who's been around the block with older women, yeah, I can tell you older women, they are fascinating to deal with when you're younger. And sometimes they may hang around young, but me personally, I never had an older woman get at me just because she wanted to feel young. They got at me because I was intelligent, able to articulate myself on their level. That's how it was with me. But if you're an older woman trying to date younger men just so you can feel young again, I mean, that may come with the territory anyway. But if that's your main purpose for dating a younger man, then you need to stop right there. Accept the fact that you're getting older. I mean, some things you're never too old for, but this is probably not one of them. And yeah, old girl look good at her age. She's got the nice thick hips and everything, but what is she trying to prove at whatever age she's at? Just saying. And do men really want a relationship with her? Tap that ass and leave. I'll let y'all be the judge. Fair use.
The refusal to evolve. What was meant to be confidence now reads as insecurity. What was marketed as empowerment has become desperation in disguise. The more these women chase youth, the more they lose the grace and respect that come with maturity. There's nothing wrong with wanting to look good or stay vibrant.
Exactly.
But there's a fine line between self-care and self-delusion. True confidence doesn't come from pretending to be young. It comes from embracing every season of life with authenticity.
No matter how old you are.
The tragedy is that many of these women were taught to measure their worth by their appearance and sexual appeal, not by their wisdom or substance. So now, as their looks fade, their sense of identity fades. It's time to stop laughing at the spectacle and start having real conversations about why so many older women feel the need for youth instead of living with dignity. Society's obsession with superficial empowerment has created a generation terrified of aging.
Really?
But real strength is not in resisting time.
Again, we didn't really have this problem too much 25, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago. So it's like, what the hell really happened here? Sheesh. But let's continue. Fair use.
It's in mastering it. In the end, pretending to be 25 forever doesn't rewind the clock.
No, it don't.
It only exposes the insecurities that time reveals. Aging is not the enemy. Women were told they didn't just need to be independent. They were told needing a man was a weakness. Now, as reality sets in,
the old independent boss chick mindset. Yep.
Many are realizing that independence without support is one of the hardest and loneliest paths a person can take. Older single women, especially those who spent their prime years chasing careers, self-validation, and independence, are now finding themselves in a tough spot. Many believe that if they worked hard, earned degrees, and lived by the mantra of self-sufficiency, everything else would fall into place.
Yep, and that's a good point. These older women, when they were younger, spent their youth chasing careers, chasing jobs, and probably chasing attention and validation. But as soon as they hit a certain age, they feel like, oh, I squandered my youth. I have to try to reclaim it. I must reclaim my youth. I can't afford to grow it. I haven't found a good man yet, or some shit like that. Yeah. I think this is what happens when you not only stay single for too long, but you also squander your youth doing other things outside of trying to find a mate. I mean, I'm not saying you should just give up everything and try to find a mate, but I'm just saying when you don't incorporate that into your plan of action, this is kind of what happens. This whole I don't need a man for shit is just getting out of hand. Men and women need each other. I am 35, going 35, 36 years old, trying to live like a 20-something-year-old because you're stuck in the past. You're stuck in your youthful years of being independent. You haven't let go of that yet. And now look where you are. Fair use.
The truth is, it doesn't shield anyone from aging, loneliness, financial insecurity. They're facing housing instability, rising costs of living, and dwindling social networks. all while realizing that the same men once dismissed have built families, legacies, and stability that money alone can't replace.
Yep, absolutely. Like I discussed in the previous video, the same men that these men said no to when they were young in their prime, now they no longer have access to those men anymore. They moved on, found better women, or moved on and started doing better things. They're not checking for her old ass anymore. Yep, just saying.
The promise of independence that women could have it all: careers, confidence, control, and companionship on their own terms. But the reality is that modern society doesn't reward women for being alone.
No.
Job markets are unstable, retirement savings are shrinking, and emotional fulfillment is scarce. The social structures that once supported single women, strong communities, churches, sisterhoods, have weakened. Now, many find themselves depending on the very systems they once looked down on or mocked others for needing: government aid, shared housing, even social media sympathy. It's also important to recognize how modern culture encouraged this mindset. Movies, music, and social media glorified single life, sexual liberation, and career obsession, but
They
failed
did.
to show the long-term cost.
Yep. And that's the thing about these old and that's the thing about social media. It will and that's the thing about some of this stuff in general. They'll tell you the good that comes with doing certain things, but they don't tell you the bad and the ugly that comes with it. They'll say, be independent. I was independent. I didn't need a man. I got this far in my life. But she's not going to tell you the mess she had to go through or how she's really feeling on the inside. So, yeah, media can only tell you so much about about how somebody is really really living. They don't tell you the whole entire story when it comes to this kind of shit. They don't tell you about the bad stuff that comes with it. They just want to insinuate the good. I understand in some aspects they say insinuate the bad and leave out the good, but I think in situations like these you have to keep things more balanced. Discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly so people can be well prepared for it and not go into it with a closed mind of this is gonna work, this is gonna be good, this is this, that, and the third. That would be like me joining the military and my recruiter's like, hey, you join the service, you get to travel across the world, you get to do this, you get to do that, without telling you what comes with being in the military. Everything from getting smoked by drill instructors, everything from being smoked by drill instructors, getting up at 6 o'clock in the hour, 6 o'clock in the morning every day, getting yelled at and cussed out by drill instructors, yada, yada, yada. The kind of shit that would scare any normal person that's not dedicated to the cause of fighting for America. They have to tell you all that stuff combined so you know what the hell you're getting yourself into and make a conscious choice of whether or not you want to go through with this stuff. So yeah, sometimes you got to add a little bit of the bad and the ugly that goes along with this kind of with certain lifestyles so people will know what the hell they're getting themselves into. But let's continue. Fair use.
The strong, independent woman became a brand more than a lifestyle. Women were applauded for rejecting relationships, flaunting their solitude, and declaring men irrelevant. Yet now, as they face middle age and beyond, many are realizing that independence can't hug you at night, help you when you're sick,
Not to mention pipe you down at night. Yep.
or share life burdens. The applause from social media fades. The silence of an empty home is deafening. Economically, this ideology has also created vulnerability. Without dual income households or long-term partners to share costs, many older single women are struggling. The pandemic, inflation, and job market shifts have made it clear that individual survival in a harsh economy is nearly impossible without cooperation or family support. Many who prided themselves on being self-made are now realizing that true strength isn't about doing everything alone. It's about building networks, community, and love that last when the world becomes unpredictable. And when it comes to dating, the landscape has changed dramatically. Men are no longer drawn to the independent persona that often carries a dismissive or competitive energy.
No, they're not.
Instead, they're seeking femininity, warmth, cooperation, and partnership.
Absolutely. And we need to stop with all this bullshit that if a man wants anything other than that, he's a misogynist. Something is wrong with him. He can't handle an independent boss babe my age. Man, fuck all that bullshit. He wants a good cooperative Christian woman and you just don't fit the bill. And for someone your age to be acting and dressing like that, you got issues, honey. You got some serious fucking issues. So no, we can't shame people for having preferences. I mean, women don't like being shamed for their preferences, so why should we shame men for their preferences? If a man wants a good cooperative woman, he should be able to get that without any judgment or disrespect if he's worthy of such things. Yes. If this woman here doesn't fit his bill, then it is what it is. But fair use.
Many older women are finding it hard to adapt. They've spent decades being told to lead, control, and compete rather than connect. Now they face the painful reality that the traits rewarded in the workplace are often rejected in the home. The very independence that once felt empowering has become a wall keeping them from companionship. What's more, emotional exhaustion has taken its toll. Many women spent so long pretending they were okay, pushing through heartbreaks, disappointments, and unmet dreams that they've hardened themselves emotionally. Vulnerability feels foreign, and letting go of control feels terrifying.
It does.
But the truth is, healing requires both. To find peace, women must relearn how to trust, how to receive, and how to rebuild with humility rather than pride. Culturally, this is also a wake-up call for society. The family unit, once the cornerstone of community, has been replaced with independence as a goal in itself.
Really?
But no culture thrives on isolation. Communities weaken when family bonds crumble.
Mm-hmm. And we see that happening a lot. Thanks to government assistance, women feel like they don't need a man inside the house so they can be independent boss chick mom. They can take care of the kids all by themselves. But when the bills start racking up and the kids are acting up, yeah, now they look back and regret their decisions. So no, you got to work with someone that's a cohesive unit at some point in your life. Just saying. Fair use.
The message that women can and should do everything alone has left an entire generation disconnected, distrustful, and often bitter. Rebuilding those connections means rethinking what true empowerment means. Not separation, but collaboration. A better way forward. The solution is reframing. Youth isn't the only season worth living. Aging isn't a failure, it's a privilege. Confidence looks better than surgery.
It does.
Wisdom is more attractive than denial. You can be stylish, attractive, and vibrant without pretending to be 19.
Mm-hmm.
When women learn to define themselves by something deeper than appearance, they stop chasing the illusion of being forever young and start embracing the power of being fully grown.
Really?
Conclusion. The I don't need a man era was supposed to liberate women. But instead, it created a generation of women who are independent on paper, but emotionally and financially vulnerable in reality.
Yeah, how ironic is that? The same thing that's supposed to liberate women and keep them free made them slaves. Not just to society, but slaves to themselves and their own delusional bullshit. Ain't that some ironic shit? Just saying.
Independence was never meant to replace partnership.
No.
It was meant to complement it. True empowerment is not in rejecting men or family, but in understanding the power of unity, respect, and balance. As older single women face economic hardship, loneliness, and regret, the lesson becomes painfully clear. Independence without connection isn't freedom, it's isolation.
Not to mention, again, a slave to your own self.
The time has come for reflection, for rebuilding, not resentment. Real strength isn't doing life alone. It's building a life that lasts with love, wisdom, and purpose. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, leave a like and a comment.
Well, that's the video. What did y'all think about that? Let me know what you thought about what she had to say. Y'all agree or disagree with what she says? Have y'all noticed a lot of these older women trying to rewind the clock and reclaim their youth because they squandered it doing whatever when they were 10, 20 years younger? If you have, let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Or you can come on the panel and let's talk about this, shall we? The choice is yours, of course. Angela C says, I agree. Okay, Angela, well, if you got time, you can talk to me on the panel or speak your piece in the comments. It's left entirely up to you. And like I said, thank you for the $3 Cash App. My bad for not noticing it earlier, but my phone was in another room charging up. Because I've been out all day, so yeah, please forgive me. But I appreciate you. You're my top tier supporter for a reason. When I figure out I would have made you a mod, but you barely be on here like you used to. That's why I gave it the cynical one. But I'll give you one. But I'll be sure to give you one soon. He says should be up in 10. Okay, 10 minutes. Take your time. Take your time. We still got a lot of stuff to cover. But what do y'all think about? And she says she agrees. She sees a lot of women around her age trying to rewind the clock. And because they don't want to embrace being older. And like I said, I love my older women, not because of their physical beauty, but because they're wise. They're wise and they're definitely more stable compared to the young girls who just want to be all over the goddamn place or don't know what the fuck they want. But again, I can't put age on wisdom and quality, because 40-year-olds can be no different than 20-year-olds. We have to acknowledge that right away. Look at the person's quality of character, not so much their age. I just prefer women 30 and up as a romantic or sexual partner, not some damn 20-something-year-old. It's a double-edged sword, because if you date younger, they want you for money. You date older, they want you just for convenience. Not the case for everybody, but it's just something that I myself have to kind of watch out for. It's something I've been wondering about for quite some time. But yeah, now I'm going to get into, but before I get into my main event topic for today, I'm going to take a brief stream break. And if anybody come up, as usual, if you come up before I get back, just sit tight, relax. Okay, ladies and gents, I'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
You'll never make me stay, so take your weight off of me. I know your every move, so won't you just let me be. I've been at times before, but I was too blind to see that you seduce every man. This time you won't seduce me. No, not me, fat. She's saying that's okay, hey baby, do what you please. I had the stuff that you want, I am the thing that you need. She looked me deep in the eye, she's touching me so to start. She said there's no turning back, she trapped me in a heart. Dirty Diana, dirty Diana, dirty Diana. Let me be. She like the boys in the band. She knows when they come to town. Every musician's fan. After the curtain comes down, she waits at backstage doors for those who have prestige, who promise fortune and fame, a life that's so carefree. She's saying that's okay, hey baby, do what you want. I'll be your night loving, I'll be the free you can tone. And I don't care what you say, I wanna go too far. I'll be your everything if you made me slime. Dirty Diana, dirty Diana, dirty Diana. Let me be. Diana, Diana. She said I had to go, cause I'm real tired, you see. But I hate sleeping alone. Why don't you come with me? I said my baby's at home. She's probably worried tonight. got the keys. He said he's not coming back, cause he's sleeping with me. Dirty Diane. Dirty Diane. Dirty Diane. Dirty Diana, Diana, Dirty Diana, 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 Dirty Diana, 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 Diana.
I never trust a nigga cause they hater. A nigga out here trying to stack some paper. Better cuff your bitch before I date her. That dick up in the stomach, I know you hate her. That money on my mind, I'm trying to get it. I ain't worried about no nigga in my business. Gotta stay up in your lane, man. I'm trying to get this business. Trying to get this fucking money on my mind. If you with it, if you with it. Rest in peace to my nigga Young Dog. I in Mississippi trying to just get it dog. Motherfucker damn hater, man, I might fuck your bitch. Better watch your damn mouth when you talking about me type shit. I'm chillin' on the east side. Used to be East View, yeah, type shit. Straight from the motherfucking 6'6". Don't play with me, I just might shoot you. Keep it real with your G no matter what. Never stab a nigga back for a buck. If she fuck, she gon' fuck, she gon' fuck. Goddamn, my nigga, what's up? If you cross the line, nigga better stay. Thinking back, cross the line, beat pup. Rather be judged by 6 and killed by 12. My nigga better believe it's all well. Now I got the motherfucking trap jump. These hoes got they motherfucking ass jump. Me and June bucking pimpin' on these hoes. Sad shit, River Hill type shit. Niggas don't wanna take a loss, but if you take a loss, that's the cost to be the boss. You making money out here in the street, man. It's chestnut checkers on your piece of cue. Know what I mean? Grad cut low, watch out for the snake. Cause a nigga rob you real fast type shit. Have a real fine bitch sucking on your dick. With the hell tie she up, yeah, the set up bitch. Keep one in the hole, nigga never know when a nigga bout to pull a kick dough. Keep one up in the hole, a nigga never know when a nigga bout to pick a kick dough. Keep it real with your G no matter what. Never stab a nigga back for a buck. If she fuck, she gon' fuck, she gon' fuck. Goddamn, my nigga, what's up? If you cross the line, nigga better stay. Thinking back, cross the line, beat pup. Rather be killed by 6 and judged by 12. My nigga, I'm here. That way, my nigga. Shout out to June, aka Fred. Shout out to my nigga Pimpin' Boss Street, you know what I'm saying, over there on the house. Free my nigga, man, up in that pen. Free my nigga, they ain't gon' never see the streets again. We up in this thing. You know what I'm saying? My nigga got cold in the morning. I'm up in the studio 4 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Finna wake my nigga up. Man, we got motion around this bitch. Four flats on the Cadillac, add up type shit. Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, your boy is, excuse me, back at it again. Now let's get down to my final topic The main event of the day. Yes, the princess treatment. I saw this video about, I think it was yesterday or the day before, talking about the princess treatment and how it has fallen and why it has fallen. And it really gave me some backstory on this kind of treatment that I found to be extremely baffling and kind of relevant to what's going on in today's world, especially our dating market. And for those I don't know, what we call the princess treatment is when a man treats his wife or girlfriend as if she's one of those fancy smancy Disney princesses, you know, sacrificing his life for her, doing all this for her, treating her like a princess. And in return, she treats him like a king or a prince or whatever the fuck. Yeah. That's what they call that. But I'm going to share a video with you guys to give us, and if y'all want to chime in on things I talked about in the previous two videos, you may feel free to do so. Link is right there for anybody that want to come up, they want to chime in on whatever. I'm all eyes and ears. All right. Let's get into my next one. Okay, shout out to Psycrypt. This says, why the princess treatment is finally disappearing for good. This was some good shit right here. Now to give y'all a little bit of, let's take a look at this brief little history lesson right here. All right, let's get into it. Fair use. Okay, this says the most effective way to destroy people is to deny and obliterate their own understanding of their history. George Orwell. Rest in peace and shout out to him. The most effective way to destroy people is to deny or obliterate their own understanding of history. Yep, shout out to George Orwell and rest in peace.
What if I told you that the social contract, which has governed male and female interactions for the last 70 years, is not just being renegotiated, but is being violently torn up in front of our eyes?
Really?
What if the so-called princess treatment that has become a modern expectation was never a permanent state of affairs, but a fleeting historical anomaly built on a foundation of sand that is now washing away for good? And what if the key to understanding this colossal shift in our time wasn't found on TikTok or in a modern political treatise, but in the dust-choked archives of post-war Europe, and in the cold, hard data of behavioral psychology that was once deemed too dangerous to publish?
Before we begin, if you're serious about personal growth, not just a comforting, it's a practical more deeply.
The fall of the kingdom. All right, before we get into this, I got somebody in the back. Give me a second, Hello, Angela. How are you? Hold on a second. Okay, hold on. Get this down real quick. My computer moving slow today, so please work with me on this. I think it's me buffering. Hold on. What's wrong with this damn computer? Okay, here it is. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out goes to my A1 from day one, always here to slay one, Angela C. How you be? Discourse top tier MVP.
Hey,
How are you, my girl? Welcome back.
good.
How you been? Long time no see. And shout out to Windchime. He said my sound was buffering.
Okay.
Yeah, that
I've been
video I played.
good.
Yeah, it's been a while. So what you want?
Mhm.
Windchime also says hi.
Ah,
Yeah, I was
hello.
checking out. Yeah, I was checking out this video about the princess treatment. What you thought about the last video about women our age still trying to reclaim their youth and all that kind of bullshit? I mean, you can look good at any age, but still, I mean, you look good at your age, but I don't see you up here thirst trapping. But then again, you got a husband and some children, so you got
Yeah,
better shit to do than worry about what 1,000 strangers across the world think about you.
yeah, I actually agree because it's to the point where there's a lot of older women and some of they're trying to compete with the young little thotty girls. Like they're trying to get the same attention that they get. And it's like why? Like why would you want the attention that they get? So yeah. I'd actually agree with what she said.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I was the only one noticing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my older women. Hell, I prefer, as I said earlier, I prefer older women, 35, 45, whatever the hell. But come on, you don't need to be thirst trapping just to get a man. That's something that them young 20-something-year-olds can do. It looks ridiculous it's done by a 40-year-old, but by a 20-year-old, while it look ridiculous, it's a bit more acceptable if it's done by someone younger compared to an older person. I mean, we've all done dumb shit when we were young, so hey. We've all done crazy stuff when we were in our 20s, so hey.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just how I
So this
look at it.
story is about
Oh, go ahead.
just women in general getting princess treatment by what is it by about around the men, their husbands.
Oh no, this video just gave us like a little this I saw this yesterday and it kind of gave me a breakdown of the overall princess treatment. And I found it interesting. I thought I'd share this with my audience. This is my main event right here. But all right, let's get back into this. First part, Fall of the Kingdom.
Let us begin our descent not in the chaotic present, but in the place of seemingly unshakable order. Picture, if you will, a scene from 1959. A young man, we'll call him Robert, returns from his shift at the factory. His hands are stained with grease. His body aches with a familiar, honest fatigue. He walks up the path to a small, neatly kept house in the suburbs, a house he owns thanks to a mortgage he can afford on his single income. He opens the door to the smell of a pot roast cooking. His wife, Helen, is in a dress and apron, setting the table. She greets him with a kiss, takes his coat, and hands him a newspaper.
Yep, them old school traditional roles back in the day. Yep.
The children are clean and quiet. This scene, replicated millions of times across the Western world, was not just a lifestyle. It was the physical manifestation of a deal, a grand societal bargain. Robert provided material safety, security, and status, the castle. In return, Helen provided domestic order, fidelity, and a legacy, the kingdom. She was the queen of this small domain, and in that capacity, she received what we can retroactively call the princess treatment.
Yep, that's how that goes. Your husband is the king, your husband, I guess, is the prince, and you're the princess getting the princess treatment. But then again, that make y'all king and queen, and y'all kids are the prince and princess. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
All right, let's continue. Fair use.
She was cherished, protected, and put on a pedestal, albeit a pedestal within the walls of her home.
Yep, being modest and worship within the confines of her own home as a traditional wife. It makes sense to me.
This was the first and most crucial pillar, the pillar of tangible utility and the bounded kingdom. The princess treatment was never about unconditional adoration. It was a reciprocal agreement, as cold and practical in its foundations as a Roman aqueduct. A man would engage in servitude, working dangerous, backbreaking, or soul-crushing jobs to build interest against the world's chaos. In return, the woman was the steward of that fortune. Her domain was the social fabric of the family. Her princess status was a reward for her competence in managing this critical asset. This is the part of the narrative we've forgotten. The reverence was for a role, vital function in a shared project of survival and prosperity.
Oh, I got a phone call. Give me a few minutes. Okay, I'm back. All right, let's continue. Fair use.
The man was the knight, yes, but the woman was the castellan, the keeper of the castle walls. Her value was intrinsic and immense. The kingdom she managed was real, tangible, and finite. The entire foundation of complementary, non-overlapping utilities. This is the first and most profound way the modern world has shattered. The kingdom has vanished.
The bounded kingdom, the castle, has been obliterated by a series of social and economic atom bombs. The first was the sexual revolution, and more specifically, the widespread adoption of reliable birth control.
Yep, there you go. This is where sexual liberation and the development of... Oh, damn, Angela hopped off. Oh, shit. Oh, she said she'll be right back. Okay. Damn, she hopped right off. Okay, she'll be back. But like I said, this is where sexual liberation came in. Not to mention the development of contraceptives and birth control pills. Yep. This is where it all started. This is kind of where it all went downhill from there. Let's continue.
This single technological innovation did more to dismantle the old female role than any piece of legislation. It's the link between sexuality and progeny. Suddenly, the stewardship of the family legacy, the prime directive of the traditional female role, was no longer a default biological choice, and a choice of purpose.
I mean, nothing wrong with you having choices as long as you make wise choices, right?
The second bomb was the mass movement of women into the workforce. This was sold as liberation, and in many material ways it was. But from the perspective of the old societal bargain, it was a catastrophic devaluation of the domestic domain. When both men and women are competing in the same external marketplace, the unique, complementary value of the female role inside the home is radically diminished.
Yep, absolutely. So with the development of contraceptives and birth controls and allowing women to go to work, that's where things more or less kind of went downhill from there. Because when you got men and women in the workforce together, well, not together, but making money, doing this, that, and the third. Yeah. Excuse me. When you got men and women doing it, going to work or whatever, first of all, they may have no time for the kids. They got to hire a babysitter because somebody got to watch the kids while they're gone. And second of all, what if the woman feels like, now that I'm making money, I don't need the man anymore? If something happens to me, at least I'm set for life. But at the same time, I don't need the man. Well, what I need a man for if I can make my own money? This is where the family dynamic kind of falls apart. It was all well and good as long as the man went out to work and bust his ass, did whatever he had to do to bring money home, and the wife stayed home, took care of the household like the true queen that she was, or the princess that she was. But let her come out of that castle and watch the whole kingdom fall apart, because now she feel like she's too good for the very same castle or kingdom that her and her king built together. Just saying, fair use.
Why be the castellan of a small suburban castle when you can be a junior executive in a glass and steel skyscraper? The kingdom lost its mystique, its necessity. The walls came down, not with a siege, but with neglect. Now, let's visualize this collapse with a story. Imagine a brilliant, ambitious young woman of today. Let's call her Chloe. Chloe is 28. She has a master's degree, a thriving career in digital marketing, a stylish apartment she rents in a trendy part of the city, and a vibrant social life documented meticulously on Instagram. She is the modern archetype of success. She travels, she dines, she has a passport full of stamps and a phone full of memories. She believes, having been told so her entire life, that she is a princess, that she deserves a prince who will add to this life, who will provide the princess treatment, the surprise luxury gifts, the lavish dates, the unwavering emotional validation, the constant proof of his devotion. But Chloe's kingdom is not a tangible asset to be managed. It is a curated performance of consumption. Her apartment is a rental, her body is maintained by subscription services, her career is a series of projects for a corporation that sees her as a replaceable resource.
Okay, so in other words, she's not living this lavish lifestyle that she claims she is. Now, those of y'all that, now, I'm pretty sure a lot of us can attest to that, because we see this all the time on social media where you got women showing off their goods and showing off this lavish luxury things like a nice apartment or a private jet or some shit like that, when really none of that shit belongs to her. Because now I do agree with that, because we see women all the time on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever showing off shit that probably don't even belong to them. And when it come down to it, she's no different than the same average men she has to encounter in her day-to-day life and work with. Despite all the flaunting that she does, she's no better than the average man out there. She can pretend like she is, but we all know the truth about that. Let's hear that again. That was gold right there.
Is a rental. It is a curated performance of consumption. Her apartment is a rental. Her body is maintained by subscription services.
Subscription services. Her body's maintained by subscription services. Ain't that some shit?
Her career is a series of projects for a corporation that sees her as a replaceable resource.
In other words, a work slave. So she's basically a goddamn work slave.
A man looks at Chloe's life and subconsciously performs a cost-benefit analysis. In the 1950s, a man like Robert invested in Helen and, by extension, in the physical asset of the home and family. It was a joint venture with appreciating assets. What is a man investing in with Chloe? He is being asked to fund a lifestyle, a performance. He is being asked to be a patron of consumption.
And that's a problem right there. We see that a lot in the modern world, where you got these entitled women that be on and offline or whatever, that have these unrealistic standards, and they expect a man to just meet. If you don't meet the standards, then you just too broke for me, or you're this, that, and the third for me. They want a man that's going to basically fund their lifestyle and give them whatever the fuck that they want. That's all that really is. This Chloe person is not the traditional woman of the 1950s. She's the modern day, hardworking, independent boss chick type. And she's just looking for a man that can make almost as much money as her, if not more. That way he can give her the things that she's probably been given or she's used to earning her entire life. So he's not getting too much of a fair deal dealing with a female with those kind of expectations, because shit happens. People get laid off. Bills begin to pile up. Bills increase over time. If he can't do any of that stuff, then he's useless to her. Seriously. But fair use.
The utility is gone. The kingdom is a mirage. He is not a knight protecting a castle. He is a wallet funding a festival.
Absolutely. A human ATM. We see that a lot with females using males as human ATMs. We see that a lot.
And men, on a deep instinctual level, are waking up to this reality. They are realizing that the princess has no kingdom to offer them in return for their service, only a demand for more provisions for her solo journey.
Mm-hmm. And there you go. Her kingdom is essentially something that she just wants this man to fund for the rest of his life if he wants a shot at her. And you don't know what the hell she really does to maintain that. You don't know what the hell she really does to maintain it, because all these women that's got all this money doing this, that, and the third, they may have full-time jobs. Who knows? But when they're flaunting on social media, you have to wonder. Some of them don't even have real jobs. Social media is practically their job. But who knows what other fuck shit they got to do just to maintain a lifestyle. Just saying. Fair use.
This is not merely a philosophical observation. It is borne out by terrifyingly cold data. Let's talk about the work of anthropologist David Buss. For decades, Buss has studied human mating strategies across cultures. His research consistently reveals that while women universally prioritize a man's resources and status, his ability to build a kingdom, men's primary triggers for attraction are youth, health, and most importantly, fertility cues.
Yep, youth, beauty, and fertility. That's what we men want in our women. While women want provision, protection, and financial security. Yep.
Now, consider the modern landscape. The average age of first-time marriage for women has skyrocketed into the late 20s and early 30s.
And I say 25, you should be ready for marriage, but that's just my opinion. Just saying. Fair use.
Female fertility begins a significant decline after age 30.
Yep. We hear that all the time. By the time you hit 30, your ability to give birth becomes more and more difficult and it becomes more difficult as you get older. Just saying. Fair use.
From a purely Darwinian perspective, which is the level at which these deep-seated instincts operate, the modern, high-achieving princess in her late 20s and 30s is signaling a conflicting message. She's demanding resources fit for a queen, while her biological signaling of the one thing men are instinctively wired to seek, a reliable vessel for their genetic legacy, is demonstrably fading.
Yep. In other words, a woman with high standards but does not have the ability to give birth to children because of lack of fertility. Yep.
This creates a profound subconscious dissonance. The man feels the pull of an ancient instinct to provide, but the reward mechanism, the successful propagation of his lineage, feels increasingly risky and uncertain.
In other words, the reward ain't worth the risk.
The deal is broken. The data from dating apps is a horrifying petri dish for this phenomenon. Studies of platforms like Tinder and Hinge show a brutal skew. The top 10–20% of men receive the vast majority of female attention, while the majority of men are virtually invisible. Women, armed with the illusion of infinite choice, are swiping on the same small pool of men who physically resemble the prince of their fantasies. But these top-tier men have no incentive to offer the princess treatment. Why would they?
I mean, if you're a man of high value and high status and you got all these different women to choose from, why would you be in any real hurry to want to settle down with anyone anyway? That's something they don't ask themselves. And second of all, while women may demand these kind of men, how are they worthy of them? What makes you worthy of a high status man? I mean, why does a man got to be of that caliber just to even have a shot at you? Romantically, physically, and sexually. It's not about being broke, it's about being realistic. If I could reach your financial status, what do I get out of it? What am I getting out of dealing with your happy ass? Am I gonna get a cooperative, good woman by my side, or am I gonna get some attention-seeking thotty type woman that just wants to use me as a human ATM? If it's the latter, then what are we talking about here? So yeah, if a man's not getting a fair deal out of dealing with said female, then there's no incentive for him to want to deal with her on that level. But fair use.
They have a near infinite supply of potential partners. They can offer the bare minimum or less and still have their pick.
Yeah, after all, these are the men that the women make the rules, they bend the rules for. These are the kind of men that women go for immediately and bend the rules for. The rules that they make for average looking men, they would never make these rules for these guys. They would give up the poutine to these kind of men first before they give it up to the average dude. Make the average dude wait while the high value dude gets it immediately. Just saying, fair use.
The result? The average man, seeing this dynamic play out, simply disengages. He stops wiping.
Yeah, they should.
He stops asking. He stops trying. He looks at the invoice for the princess treatment and decides it's a bad investment. He becomes, in the parlance of our time, quietly done. This is the first great collapse of the Tan Kingdom and the complementary utility that made the princess treatment a sensible strategic bargain. The castle is a ruin, but the princess is still in the tower, waiting for a feast that will never come.
Absolutely. The same way you see in the modern world where you got these where you got these women who call themselves princesses that are still waiting for their Prince Charming, aka the six-figure man, to sweep her off her feet. Yep. It's just a bunch of delusional bullshit that if they don't wake up for themselves and realize what they're really doing, they're going to be left in the dust. But let's continue. Fair use.
But the fall of the first pillar, the kingdom, would not have been fatal on its own. It was the collapse of the second pillar that turned a crisis into a catastrophe. This second pillar was the most insidious and powerful force shaping modern relationships. It was a psychological weapon of mass destruction, developed not in a military lab, but in the hallowed halls of post-war academia. Its creator was a man who believed he was building a better world, but instead he unleashed a social virus that has poisoned the well of intimacy for generations.
Really?
He authored a study so explosive, so destructive to the foundational myths of female nature, that its findings were systematically buried, its data ignored, and its very existence relegated to the footnotes of history.
So I guess this man did some research on our dating market back in those days, found out some egregious things, and since the data was so egregious, they decided to bury it. But in reality, this data was giving us the hard truth about what the fuck was really going on back in the 1950s. But they didn't want to expose that, so they had his research buried. Okay, let's see what this research was.
It was a study that proved with mathematical certainty the very thing that modern men are now discovering through bitter experience. This is the story of the second pillar, the forbidden research, and the great betrayal that made the disappearance of the princess treatment inevitable. Now, we will unearth the single most suppressed document of the 20th century.
Okay, let's get into it. This is where things get juicy.
A study so explosive, it proved with clinical precision that the very concept of unconditional female loyalty was a necessary lie to rebuild civilization. We will expose the academic cover-up, name the researcher whose career was destroyed for telling the truth, and reveal how its findings are now playing out in real time in the lives of millions of men. This is the forbidden knowledge that explains why the withdrawal is not a protest, but a correction.
Okay, now before we get into that, let me put this message out here real quick for everybody listening in.
Like, comment, and subscribe, because it's just what the doctor prescribed.
All right, make sure you do that for me as you're coming in. And shout out to Rogue C. Rogue, you're always on the go. Come up here and together we can grow. Nice of you to join me, my lady. Nice of you to join me. Okay, we're going to continue this deep dive into the fall of the so-called princess treatment. And this doctor from the 1950s did some research on the dating market in that time period and found some things that was so possibly destructive to society that they had to be buried. So let's see what this information was and who was the researcher responsible for these findings. Let's continue. Fair use.
The bill for the fairy tale has finally come due.
Let's get in. Okay, chapter 2, the death of the fairy tale. Let's see where this goes.
The first pillar, the kingdom of tangible utility, had crumbled into dust, leaving the princess in her tower waiting for a feast that would never come. But a structure can often stand on a second support, even after the first has fallen. For the age of the princess, that second pillar was not made of brick and mortar, but something far more potent and fragile.
What is it?
A shared story. Carefully cultivated and fiercely defended about the inherent nature of womanhood.
Okay, well, where did this come from? Oh, there it is. Okay, my bad, y'all. Let's continue.
A story and a shared story. It was a narrative, carefully cultivated and fiercely defended about the inherent nature of womanhood. A story of innate virtue, unwavering loyalty, and a pair-bonding instinct so powerful it could tame the wildest male heart. This was the mythos that justified the continued princess treatment, long after the practical, reciprocal reasons for it had vanished. But this pillar was rotten at its core, and its collapse was not an accident of time. It was the result of a deliberate act of archaeological excavation into the cold gray core thing. It was rotten at its core, and its collapse was not an accident of time. It was the result of a deliberate act of archaeological excavation, an unearthing of a forbidden truth that the architects of the modern narrative had tried to bury forever. Let's now venture into the cold gray corridors of post-war German academia, to the office of a man whose work was deemed too dangerous for the world to see.
Let's find out what this work really is. All right, let's continue. Fair use.
His name was Dr. Gerhard Kessler, and in the early 1950s, he was a sociologist at the University of Göttingen. And in the early 1950s, he was a sociologist at the University of Göttingen, tasked with understanding the social wreckage of the Second World War. The nation was awash in widows, orphans, and shattered families. But Kessler noticed a pattern in the chaos that the official reports were ignoring. He initiated a massive, longitudinal study, one of the most comprehensive of its kind, tracking thousands of German women, those who had lost husbands, those whose husbands were prisoners of war, and those in seemingly stable marriages. The goal was to understand the resilience of the German family unit. What he discovered, however, was a truth so devastating to the prevailing image of female loyalty that it threatened to unravel the entire project of national recovery.
Find out exactly what Dr. Kessler found out post-German war. All right, fair use.
The data, compiled in endless stacks of punch cards and patient interviews, revealed a brutal picture of hypergamy in its most raw and desperate form.
Even in the 1950s, hypergamy was a real thing. Ain't that about some shit? Even in the 1950s, hypergamy was a real thing. Okay, let's continue. This is getting interesting. Fair use.
The study found that a staggering majority of women who lost their husbands did not mourn indefinitely, as the cultural narrative demanded. Instead, they exhibited a rapid and pragmatic shift in allegiance. Their loyalty was not to the man, but to the security and social standing the man provided.
In other words, the lifestyle he provided.
When that provider fell, the loyalty evaporated. The most shocking findings centered on the wives of soldiers reported missing or as POWs in Soviet camps. These men were not confirmed dead. They were in a state of limbo.
I guess in a coma.
Kessler's data showed that within just 18 to 24 months of a husband's disappearance, over 70% of these women had formed new, stable pair bonds with other men. They had effectively replaced their missing partners, often moving into new homes, and in many cases, bearing new children.
So goddamn. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's what Dr. Kessler found way back in the 1950s. He had evidence that even in the 1950s, post-German war, there were women who either lost their husbands to the war or were prisoners on some enemy war camp. Regardless of their husband's conditions or situation, their wives were not fucking loyal. As soon as word got out that they were dead or in prison, They moved on, met new men, and forged new families. No more loyalty for them. That's nothing new. Being a veteran and being a military veteran myself, I've heard story after story after story of soldiers who go overseas to fight in wars only to come back home and find out that their wives cheated on them for somebody else. Now, to be fair, you do have men who go overseas fucking around with other females in these foreign countries or wherever the fuck they be going, but the infidelity is definitely there. It's real. Even in the 1950s, this shit was real. And what this man found out was just so shocking that they considered it a detriment to reveal it to society during that time period. Now, can y'all imagine if this kind of information got out 60 years ago, how our world would look? If we knew about the dark side of female nature, the infidelity, the disloyalty that was going on back then, would this shape the world to be different? I don't know. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, okay. I was just saying, welcome back, my girl. Welcome back. Yeah, I'm just going through this video talking about the fall of the princess treatment. So for a little recap, this famous researcher, Dr. Kessler, did a research about the 1950s society, you know, post-German war, and he found out a lot of shit that was so devastating that they had to bury his research to keep it from getting out to the public. I mean, this is nothing new. Found out that these women were either having affairs behind their husbands' backs while their husbands were out in the war, or they moved on and forged new families while their husbands were either dead or prisoners of war. Either way, the loyalty did not exist. Bottom line, even 60 years ago, hypergamy was a thing. Ain't that some shit? Even back then, women were hypergamous. And we still see that shit play out today. Being in the military myself at one point, I hear the stories of soldiers going overseas and their spouses be stepping out on them. So this is nothing new. But what do you think?
I've actually heard about that. About when the men go out to war, they're stepping out, and when they go to war, his wives are stepping.
You're kind of going in and out, but go ahead. Angie?
Weddings or marriages.
You were kind of going in and out for a second, but go ahead. Say that again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said it still happens today with those military marriages where people are stepping out.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
And this been
From what I
going
heard,
on since. Go ahead.
From what I've heard, it happens a lot. So.
Yeah, being in the military myself at one point, yeah, you ain't lying. This does happen. I mean, these are people fighting for the country, so come on now. If your husband went out to war, you don't know if he's coming back or not, but it ain't cool for you just to step out on him and have sexual relations with other men just because he's gone. Then when word gets out that he's still alive, now what do you do? So this is really nothing new according to what this man found 60 plus years ago. But let's continue. Fair use.
The official stance of the West German government and the church was to uphold these women as paragons of fidelity, waiting faithfully for their men to return. Kessler's data proved the opposite. They were survivors, and their survival instinct dictated a swift and merciless emotional and practical transfer of allegiance to a new provider. This was,
in other words, leave their current husband for a new husband after they went out to fight the war and were allegedly gone. Fair use.
Not a moral failing in their eyes. It was a biological and social imperative. The study even documented cases where women received confirmation of their husband's survival and return after they had already remarried.
Yeah, ain't that something? Ain't that about some stuff? Even when they found out that the husband was still alive and well and possibly on his way back home, They still came back with devastating news that their wives had moved on and forged new families and remarried. Oh boy, we see this. So this stuff is really nothing new. And this was discovered back in the 1950s. That's what shocked me, the whole thing. This was 50 years ago when this man found out about this. All right, let's continue. Fair use.
Leading to complex legal and emotional dramas that pitted the old provider against the new. The data was irrefutable. It painted a picture of female nature that was adaptive, pragmatic, and terrifyingly disloyal to the individual male when his utility expired.
Yep, and we see that play out a lot in the modern world. This ain't nothing new. We see this bullshit play out a lot in the modern world. Once a man's outgrown his usefulness, that's when she moves on, aka hypergamy at its worst. New provider dies, they they just simply go out and find another provider. That's basically what's going on here. So this it's been going on for decades. You got anything to say before I continue?
Nope.
All right, fair use.
This was the forbidden knowledge. The Kessler Report, as it came to be known in confidential circles, was a direct challenge to the fairy tale. It proved that the princess was not a passive, loyal queen awaiting her king, but a strategic actor whose primary loyalty was to her own survival and the quality of her kingdom, regardless of who sat on the throne.
And you notice that they call these women survivors. It's a common fact that a lot of females have this survival instincts. So it's the same thing back then. They were survivors, not so much loyalists.
No shit.
That's what they were back then, just a bunch of survivors. They were not loyal to their men. They were loyal to him as long as he provided something, but once that stopped, they just moved on and found somebody new. Yep, but let's continue. Fair use.
The response from the authorities was swift and unequivocal. The study was suppressed. It was never formally published. The data was locked away in university archives, classified under vague pretenses, and Kessler himself was quietly pressured to abandon this line of research.
Yep, and if that sounds all too familiar, that's because it's the same thing we do on these platforms, on and offline, on these platforms and off these platforms. We try to have these discussions about the dark side of the dating market, the dark side of male and female nature, and what happens. We get shut down, called every name in the damn book from, oh, you're just a misogynist, or if it's a female, you're just a, what they call male identified, or you're a mammy or a pick-me, and call men dirty dolls who are just jealous because they can't get anybody. So it's just, history is kind of repeating itself when you think about it. But what you think, Angie? History is kind of repeating itself, all because this researcher's information was not revealed to the public early in life. That's what I got out of this. If this information had gotten out 50 years ago, it'd be a different world today. But what do you think?
I think everything we see right now, it probably always been this way. It's just that it was just taboo to like talk about it.
Not to mention taboo to have affairs behind your spouse's back. But now,
Yeah.
for the last 20 years or so, that's been praised more or less.
Yeah, it's weird.
But yeah,
It's weird
so
how things
so
are
this
now.
this research, so his discoveries about female nature in the 50s was so egregious that they and possibly a detriment to society that they had to literally bury it and pressure this man and convince this man to stop his research altogether. Why? Because they didn't want this knowledge to get out and possibly dissuade men from getting married. I mean, we see that play out now. It's more men today that don't want to get married than it did 60, 70 years ago. Because marriage is no longer the sacred institution it used to be back in those days. I know you're a happily married woman, so please don't take this the wrong way, but I'm just saying it's not what it used to be back when our parents and grandparents were coming up. But then again, you could argue, was it ever a sacred institution ever since sexual liberation and contraceptives were introduced? Was it ever a sacred institution? Based on this man's founding, even back then, hypergamy was real. But let's continue. Fair use.
The official reason was that it was demoralizing and, quote, not in the interest of national healing.
Yeah, nowadays you would get canceled for saying stuff like this. We're trying to do what this man just did. So this is basically cancel culture before cancel culture is even a thing when you think about it.
The real reason was that it shattered the foundational myth required to rebuild society. To admit that female loyalty was conditional on a man's continuous performance as a provider would have created mass panic and cynicism.
In other words, less and less men will want to sign that deal and get married, knowing that there are consequences that come behind them not being able to provide. You lose your job, she's gone. She finds a man that makes more money than you, she's gone. So knowing those risks will give men less incentive to actually get married. Well, fast forward 50 years later, what's happening now? Less and less people want to get married and take that risk because now they know what the hell is going on with it. But let's continue.
It would have broken the spirit of the millions of men who were themselves traumatized, expected to go out and build a new world for women who, the data suggested, would abandon them the moment they faltered. The fairy tale of unconditional female virtue was a necessary fiction, a social sedative.
So in other words, keep selling people on a dream just to keep society going. That's basically what I'm getting. Keep selling society a false dream just to keep society going. Yep.
The Kessler data was the bitter wake-up pill they could not allow the public to swallow.
Red pill before there was ever red pill, yep.
For decades, it remained buried, a ghost in the machine of modern relationship advice. But truth has a way of seeping out.
It does.
Men did not need to read Kessler's report to feel its conclusions. They learned it through lived experience.
Yep. And that's something I talk about as well. Don't just come on these platforms listening to me, Angela C, and whoever talk about the dark side of female nature. Your best bet is to go out there into the world and experience it for yourself. Then come back and tell me. That way we won't have these discussions about, oh, you're just listening to some guy online. You're listening to a bunch of people on TV. No, I talk about the stuff I talk about in the way I talk about it because I've either seen it, experienced it, or knew someone that experienced it. So yeah, that's the best way for people to learn this stuff. But if that man's research had gotten out 5 decades ago, then men would have had a better blueprint of what to inspect in the event that they get married to a woman. But since it was buried, swept under the rug, they had to use life experiences just to understand this kind of shit. And even till this day, it still remains prevalent. Now we have all these talking points and platforms on social media that talks about this kind of shit. But I still say experience in life is the best way for you to grasp this kind of stuff. Just saying. But what you think, Angie? I've been talking too long. Let you get a word in.
I actually agree. I definitely agree with everything that you said so far.
Yep. Good to know. You're not just agreeing because you're my top tier supporter. You know, I come from a logical perspective.
No, so far I agree. So when I hear some, I'm gonna counteract, then I'll definitely let you know.
And that's what this platform is for. I don't mind someone giving me pushback. I mean, Raw B does it all the time. Mella does it all the time. So you're no different. Shout out to the both of them, but they do it all the time. You're no different. And as my top tier supporter, you better be honest and upfront. We're gonna have some problems, okay? All right, fair use.
They saw it when they lost their job and watched their wife's respect for them evaporate.
Yep.
They felt it when they went through a period of depression or struggle and found themselves alone. The princess treatment depended on the myth of unconditional loyalty, and Kessler had proven with cold, hard data that the condition was, and always had been, the man's perpetual utility. Now, let's bring this historical truth into a modern story. Imagine a man named Alex. He's 32, a software engineer. He meets a woman, Sarah, and for 3 years he gives her the princess treatment. He plans elaborate dates. He's her emotional rock. He pays for most things. He buys her expensive gifts for birthdays and anniversaries. He believes in the fairy tale. Then, the tech industry hits a downturn. Alex is laid off. For the first 3 months, Sarah is supportive.
But as the job search drags on for 6, then 9 months, her support turns to nagging, then to contempt. She starts making comments about her friends' boyfriends who are real providers. She spends more nights out with the girls.
Oh boy.
Alex, already crushed by his professional failure, now feels the added weight of her disappearing respect.
Oh boy. Yep, that ain't nothing new. You lose your job and your wife starts losing love, admiration, and most importantly, respect for you. So yeah, this kind of stuff has happened. And that's what this Dr. Kessler guy was documenting. The disloyalty amongst women in the 1950s. And 50 years later, it's still prevalent. How many times do you hear stories about men whose wives or girlfriends left them after they got laid off or fired from a job? And now you want to compare him to all the other boyfriends that you've had in the past or the ones that your girlfriends are dating. That lets me know right there that you have no respect for him. And I was told that if your wife, as a wife, if you're nagging your husband, that's because he was never your first choice to begin with. and your love is only conditional as long as he provides something. But what do you think?
Hello?
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, yeah, I was saying that I've heard stories of,
You kind of went out.
and then they never really find what it is that they're supposedly looking for, and then they
I
back.
was saying
So,
you kind of went in and out, but go ahead. Keep. What were you saying?
oh, was I going in and out?
Yeah, it was for a while.
Why is it doing that? Let me see. Let me turn.
Might be your internet connection. I know it's not acting up on my end. But you were saying?
Oh, it does, because I don't hear myself echoing. I'm on up there it is. I hear it echoing a little. Well, can you hear me?
I got you. I got you.
Okay, so I was saying that, yeah, I've heard of situations like that. And usually the wives think they're going to go out there and find whatever it is that they're looking for, and they don't. And then some of them come running back to their husbands. So,
Yep, absolutely. And the man has any common decency and self-respect, he wouldn't take her back. Once a cheater, always a cheater most of the time. If she left you once, she'll probably leave you again. So, Now, some men will give her a second chance. I know that there's some men out there that will give their spouse, some people, I should say, that will give their spouses a second chance. But I don't know. To each their own. I probably wouldn't chance it. If you lost respect for me when I lost my job the first time, who's to say it's going to happen a second time? Because now I can go into it with a better mind. Like I know you're giving me love and admiration under the condition I can provide for you. So now I'm going in with a different mind. As long as I'm giving you this and giving you that, you're gonna do as I say. So now he got to move with a whole different mindset, walking on eggshells. Because now he can't trust his own wife, and that's a shame. We can't trust your own spouse. Ugh. But let's continue. Fair use.
He is living the Kessler report in real time. He is the German soldier, missing in action in the economic trenches, and his wife is already emotionally moving on, seeking a new provider.
And it's been said time and time again that if a woman is emotionally cheating, that's even worse than physical cheating, because once she's checked out mentally, it's a done deal for you. It's one thing, it's bad enough cheating physically, but once you check out on someone mentally and emotionally, to me, that's even worse, because now you're thinking about this guy while you're supposed to be with me. That's even worse.
that's
So what
true.
do you?
It's true.
I'm pretty sure you've seen that before or heard about it before.
Yeah,
All right, let's
definitely.
continue. Yeah, let's continue. Fair use.
When he finally finds a new job, it pays 20% less. Sarah breaks up with him a month later, saying she just doesn't feel the spark anymore.
Oh, shit. I got to call cap on that.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit, bro.
Yep, that's all cap. It's not that she ain't feeling the spark no more. She just knows that you can't provide her with the things that she's used to. Now you work a job that pays less instead of working a job that at her economic standards or whatever they may be. Now she's not interested in you anymore, not because of you, but because of what you can't provide for her. Yeah, that's the big deal. That's the real deal. But let's continue.
She doesn't say the truth, that his utility, his provider capacity, has been downgraded, and she believes she can trade up.
Or in other words, date up, hypergamy. Yep.
Alex is left shattered, not just by the breakup, but by the horrifying realization that the loyalty he thought was unconditional was, in fact, a transaction.
Yep, and a lot of relationships nowadays, fast forward to modern times, a lot of relationships seem more transactional, if anything. And I think that's a shame because you remember last year we did that show talking about comparing marriage to prostitution, which is the dumbest bullshit I've ever heard in my life because as a married woman yourself, you know the two are not the same. Marriage is a contract agreement between a man and a woman who will be there for each other through thick and thin, through death do them part. They love each other and they want to be with each other forever. That's the basic gist of marriage. And when things get tough, they work it out. But with prostitution, take $40, fuck me, and get out of my damn face. You get no access to my resources. You don't get no, what they call it, inheritance or insurance from me in case something happened. You get none of that bullshit. Just give me some sex and get out of my sight. So we all know that. So you and I had that discussion a while back. And you brought the fire that day. I ain't gonna lie. You brought the fire that day, my girl.
Yeah, I think I remember that show because I remember saying how I didn't view it as the same because when it comes to being a wife, it is kind of like a job. There's a duty that prostitutes don't do. They're just there for a short time and then they gone.
Absolutely. In other words, here's $50. Give me some head and get out of my sight. That's all that really is. And if I go through some tough times or she go through some tough times, guess what? We not in a relationship or marriage, so we're not obligated to be there for each other. Compared to a marriage where the two have some obligation to work things out and be each other's emotional support system. You don't get that from no goddamn hoe on the streets. And shout out to Creative Solutions. And no, I'm not disgruntled. I don't know what you're talking about. I would like a hug, but I don't need one. But I'm glad you're here. Okay, hold on a second. Please, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Creative Solutions, part of evolution. You're always welcome to my institution. How are you doing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you.
Okay.
Angela C, this is Creative Solution. Creative Solutions, be my top tier supporter, Angela C.
Hi, Angela C.
Mm.
I came here to give some pushback and drawback and give you that hand fistful.
What the hell did I do?
No, that's what I'm here for.
Okay, what's your pushback about this princess treatment and how it all got started?
I mean, what's wrong with princess treatment? You tell me.
Ain't nothing wrong with it as long as the princess treatment may work as long as the woman plays her role and the man plays her role. But we just critique this video right here about a man who found evidence that back in the 1950s, women were, despite giving the princess treatment, it was all conditional. Under the condition that their husbands can build, provide, and protect, but once something go wrong, they're gone. So it's basically hypergamy in the 1950s, before hypergamy was even considered a thing.
So, do you think that we're living in the 1950s or are we living in 2025? The last time
We're
I checked.
living in 2025, but what's changed since 1955 or whatever? What's changed since then? Even back then, this stuff was going on, but this man's research was buried because they didn't want it. I mean, they buried his research so the truth wouldn't get out just to keep society going. I mean, if this shit
So
had got out 50 years ago, then hey, less and less men, even during that time, will have less incentive to get married. Kind of like what you see today, and it would
okay,
kind
so
of destroy
question.
society. So they had to bury that
No, I
stuff.
like
Go
society
ahead.
the way it is. Because you know why? I
Why?
love it the way it is. Then you know why? Because people
Why?
get to choose who they want to be. People get to choose the type of person they want to be with, the type of partner they want to be with, who they want to associate with. This right here is level 10 out of 10. Because nobody can complain. Nobody can be like, oh, this, that, and the third. Because if you really wanted a wife, you could find a wife. If you want to be a provider, you could be a provider. And if you want to be a trick, you could be a trick. We're living in multiple realities right now, and you can choose any
Creator.
character you want to be in.
When have women never had the freedom to do these things? I'm just saying. They've always been
We
doing
didn't
this
have
stuff for
we
decades.
never had that. We never had that back in the early 1900s. Women couldn't own bank accounts. Women didn't own businesses. We don't have that until, I want to say, until like the late 1900s.
Yeah, around the 50s and 60s. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when women started being in their power, and now they're actually throttling in their power. So, and there's nothing to say. I don't see anything wrong with having, having a woman who wants to be a housewife, who wants to cater to a husband. I don't see anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that we're at the space and economy where it's equal pickings. A woman don't have to be with you unless she wants to be with you. And I think that's the way that we should have it. Because why
Well,
would you
even
want to be with somebody who wants to fake and pretend just so that you can provide them with money and resources?
that's a very good question. Why would you want to be with someone that's putting on an act as long as they're getting something out of it? You shouldn't want to be with someone like that. And that's what we were talking about. They found out back then these women were loyal to their men under the condition that he provided something. Once that provision ran out, the love, admiration, and respect disappeared. And we see that more prevalent in our generation, Generation X and Generation Y and Z. We see that more prevalent. I mean, you having the freedom to do what you want is not so much the issue, it's what you do with that freedom. I want my woman to be free.
Exactly.
I want my woman to be free. I want my woman to have a mind of her own. I don't want a goddamn slave or a servant. The hell with that bullshit. I want a woman with a mind of her own that can think for herself, make her own decisions, and hold me to a standard if I'm doing something wrong. That's the way it needs to be. But now we have a lot of women that want to be boss chicks until they're well into their 30s. And then when they start, as we call it, hitting the wall, now they want to look back and be like, I wish I had made better choices.
How is that? So somebody who joined the service and served 10 years in the military, it's her fault that she's single?
Wait, say that again.
Somebody who joined the military and served for about 10 years, is it her fault that she's single?
I'm not understanding what you're at. He served in the military and what
I'm
now?
just saying, any woman who's in their career, whether it be fashion, they could be a financial provider, they could be in healthcare, they could be a nurse, they could be a bus driver. Is it her fault that she's working to provide for herself that she's single?
I'm gonna say yes and no. I'm gonna say yes. Yes, it can be her fault because given the condition she put herself in, she has opportunities to meet high caliber men or men who will be a good fit for her. But I guess based on what I'm noticing, if the man don't make as much money as she does or more, she's not interested, and she filters him out, and we see that
That is
happening.
not, I think we're not thinking about the level of maturity, because somebody, I'm gonna just say it, you have to be confident. You like, you need to be confident, you need to be self-aware, and plus you need to know yourself. And a lot of these men, they don't get there until they reach their like 30s or 40s. And
Absolutely.
exactly. And some women, they possibly get there in their late 20s or
Hmm.
30s. So I don't think we should fault somebody based on their journey in life and be like, you should have been married why you not married? Something is wrong with you. You know?
Yeah, I agree. I kind of agree, and you're right. We don't meet our peak until we're damn near in our 30s and 40s. But I did a video covering that earlier. Like, let's say, like me, I'm 41 years old, for example, and all of a sudden I got women hitting me up on dating apps, making the first move, willing to compromise with me. So it kind of begs the question, at 41 years old, did I really improve myself and become the best version of myself at this age? Or did the dating market just shift to where I have more power and have more options? Because if it's the latter, maybe I'm not desirable as I think I am. Women are just choosing me out of desperation and convenience. May not apply to everyone, but that's something I have to think about. But what do y'all think? Angie, creative, what do y'all think?
What? Go ahead, Angie. I'm gonna be in the background. You go ahead.
I
Um,
think I think her signal's acting. Oh, okay, she's there.
yeah, I'm here. I don't know. You said
Yeah,
oh boy,
no.
I just
I would
lost my
just
train of thought.
That's
Mhm.
all right. It's all right. I was just saying, like, I critiqued the
Mhm.
video earlier, talk about how men in their 40s who reach their peak or whatever,
Mhm.
35 and up, reach their peak or
Mhm.
whatever, suddenly have women their own ages hitting them up on dating apps and trying to text them first and compromising. It kind of begs the question, did those men
Mhm.
really become more attractive over time and increase their value? Or did the dating market shift to where, the women don't have the options that they had when they were younger, so now they're just going for whatever and whoever?
Oh,
I mean,
it
we
Why?
it it could be both. It could be.
Why is
everybody's
this thing about shaming women and telling them you ain't got the options you used to have? Like,
is
what do
it
you
really
get from that? Do
shaming
you
or is it
feel
just telling the truth?
no? Do you feel better by saying that? Muscular, muscular.
Is it
Does it
really
make you feel good?
I don't like to shame. I like to tell the truth.
I'm just
People
asking, do
tell
you
me the
feel
truth
better
all
by
the
saying
time.
that?
I
Does it
get
make
told
you
the
feel
truth all the
good?
time, so I'm gonna give that same exact energy to other people,
I mean,
even
does
if
it
it is a
make you
little
feel
harsh.
good? Like, do you get turned on by saying shit like that? Like,
Saying
do you
shit like
get your
what?
chest? Does your chest get buffed up by saying stuff like that?
No, not really.
So
My
why do you
chest get
say
buffed
things
up
like
for
that?
other things, but not like that.
So why do you say stuff like that?
Because it's been proven facts and it's stuff I've
When
seen and
you
this
when
is
you
stuff
say
I've
stuff like that,
heard
people are
and
gonna group you into being red pill and basically hating women.
you think I give a shit what other people have to say about me? No, the hell I don't. I don't. Let them do it. And besides, red pill
Okay.
is not that bad if used correctly. I'm not one of these old red pill junkies that be using this shit for evil. Nope, I use it to promote goodness. I don't
What
sign
is
up
your
for all of it, but
goodness?
enough of it. You were
Is your
saying, Angie?
goodness telling women that if you in your 30s and 40s, now you got limited options, and now you talking to a man who's 40, and you're asking him to bear with you and telling him to settle? Is that what it is?
Wait, say that again. I also made it clear that I love my older women and prefer them over the 20-something-year-olds. So
So why do you like say this rhetoric? And you got
because it's
vitriol
facts.
and you talk about sucking dick and $50 and what's up with that?
I didn't say that. Get the fuck. I did not say that. Now you're
Do you want me to
misinterpreting.
rewind it? I could do a whole video on you
No.
commenting
I
on the
think me
shit
and
that you say.
you maybe you walked in a little later, but me and Angela were talking about this show I did sometime last year or whatever. Where I was talking about prostitution versus marriage and how the two are not the same. People consider marriage as tricking. I'm like, that's the biggest pile of horseshit I've ever heard in my entire life because we all know marriage is simply a commitment between you and your husband to love each other to death, do us part. If things get tough, y'all work it out, yada, yada, yada. But with prostitution, it's
It's
just
supposed to be
take
like
this money,
that. You
fuck me,
know
get out of
what?
my sight.
It's supposed to be like that. You 100% right. It's supposed to be like that.
Yes,
But
that's how
some men get
marriages work.
desperate. What about the men who are just they just don't got it in the look department. It's just not cutting out for them. They not work. It's not working for them in the looks department or down below. They just not doing it.
I never had
So
that
instead,
issue.
they got money. They like, I got money. You know.
That's what we
What
call
about
leading
that?
with. That's what you call leading with your wallet. I recommend you do
Wouldn't
not
that
do
be
that.
prostitution the same way?
Leading with your wallet is not prostitution. Paying some bitch to fuck, that's prostitution. Come on now, work with me here.
That is prostitution. It's the same thing.
But the concept is not the same. If I meet a woman like Angela C and the first thing that come out of my mouth is I'm a walking success story, I got money doing this, it ain't so much prostitution, it's just me trying to cover up some insecurities about how I look and I present myself. So I try to cover it up with some success and money. I've seen men do that, so that does happen.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Now she may feel like it's prostitution. I guess when you think about it, it may feel like prostitute, like you're trying to buy her affection. So I get where you're coming from. That's not cool either.
Hmm. Yeah, if you're in a marriage and she don't really like you like that, and she just here for the money, that is
Exactly.
technically kind of prostitution.
I don't know about all that. Angie, what you think? You've been quiet back there.
Um,
Merit? Yeah, go ahead.
I can kind of see where she's coming from, but then at the same time, I wouldn't view it as prostitution because some men may leave with their wallet trying to wipe up a woman he finds attractive. So usually, when I see men do that, they do that with women they are really attracted to. So they figure, okay, she won't be with me unless I lead with my wallet. And so he's gonna try to lock her down by constantly mentioning his money and spoiling her and stuff like that. But not I don't really think about prostitution with that. I think it's just men who will lead with their wallet with a woman he feels is above him in the looks department.
Okay.
That's how I view
In
that.
other words, she's a gold digger. That's
So
what that is.
what if he could never get that woman on a regular day? If he ain't had no money, he could never get that woman. But he's known to have millions of dollars and he press her. Would that be considered prostitution?
Where you say
Uh,
if he has no money?
no money?
No, if he didn't have no money, he just had the bare like he's making like let's say 70 to $100,000 a year, basic regular dude stuff, who's in their 40s. And let's say he could never get her when he's making that type of money. But when he's known to be making millions of dollars and he approach her and he's showing her all this money he got, how much he gonna dine her and all of this, is that considered prostitution? But she would never look at him
That's considered.
unless he had millions.
That's not prostitution per se. That's more like trying to buy her affection. And if she goes along with that
Yeah.
shit, she's probably a gold digger.
That's prostitution. So somebody in the
Create a
back alley that's
solution.
selling you sex,
No, 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 no. Hold on a minute. Hold
it's
on
the same
a
thing.
minute. It's not.
It's the same thing.
Prostitution is simply you pay a woman a certain amount of money to engage in sexual acts with you. If no sex takes place, then it's not prostitution. So
It
you
doesn't
can't
have
quite
to be
compare those
sex. It
two.
could be. I want you to be my date. Can you hang out with me this evening? I'll
That's an
buy you a
escort.
purse.
That's an escort.
I'll do this. So now we got fancy names for stuff now.
No shit.
That would be called being an escort. It's basically prostitution
Now
on a
we
higher
now we
class.
got fancy names.
It ain't nothing. You know damn well that's nothing new. Come on.
Now we got fancy names. Call it what you want to call it. You spend out your wallet to get something in return.
Yeah, but there's a difference between paying someone for sexual favors and paying someone for attention.
What's the difference?
One is just for sexual favors. One is just trying to flaunt and show out because you ain't got nothing else to offer. AKA getting a gold digger.
It's the same thing. It's the same type of people you're attracting. Just that one person is opening up their leg, the other person is just looking beautiful and taking your money.
Okay, I see what you're saying, but I'm standing on business. Prostitution would mean transaction between, and like I said, your man gives you money, you give him sexual favors. But with this situation you're describing, sex may not even happen. It may not.
Okay, I didn't even come up here to say all that. I came up here really to say that if a man wants to spend money on a woman he really likes, I don't see anything wrong with it. And to tell some woman, take this $50, you're not getting none of my money, none of this and none of that. Like, what man is saying that to some woman? Like, and you
What a
just
man
said that.
can't.
That's why I came up here.
A man can't be careful with who he spends his money on. Come on now.
He could be, but is that how you're gonna talk to the woman and tell her that?
No, I wouldn't tell her. I wouldn't say it like that. Heck no. Mm-mm. It's a better way to say that.
Because when you do stuff like that, people turn around and they take that stuff and they internalize it, and then they turn around and they try to fuck you up in the long run. And
Yep, they
that's how
do.
people go through all these scandals and stuff. And it's because people aren't being sincere. They're not thinking about the other person's feelings. They're not taking none of that in consideration. They're just trying to move cutthroat and thinking people don't got feelings out here.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I would never come at nobody with that kind of attitude. Nope.
I know, but you were just saying it on the panel just now. Like,
I don't remember ever saying that, but
I'm gonna
okay.
record you, muscular, muscular. I'm gonna record the things you say, and I'm gonna use you as a soundbite. It's
No, you're
okay.
not. No, you
You
don't.
go ahead. You can go off. I just told you I will. So go ahead.
Whatever, girl. All right, let's continue this. God damn, hold on. All right, let's continue. Let me know what you think. Fair use.
He has been red-pilled, not by an online forum, but by the cold, hard reality of female nature.
Yep, you have to learn through experience, and that's what I had to do. Remember, this is the 1950s. No internet, no cell phones, no social media. Barely, they were lucky enough to have TVs back then. So he had to learn the dark side of female nature through life experience, which is something I encourage. Go out there into this cold world and see what the dating market really looks like. Then come back and talk to us. And we can confirm maybe what you're saying is true or just total bullshit. So yeah, they had to learn through experiences, not through these online forums and panels that we have now. But let's continue. Fair use.
The very nature that Gerhard Kessler documented 70 years ago.
Damn.
This story is replicated millions of times in a million different ways, and it is this lived experience that is fueling the male withdrawal. Men are not just opting out because the kingdom is gone, they are opting out because they have discovered, often brutally, that the princess's love was a loan, not a gift, and the interest rates are crippling. The collapse of the first pillar, the kingdom, removed the practical reason for the princess treatment. The collapse of the second pillar, the myth of unconditional loyalty, removed the moral and emotional reason for it. But there is a third and final pillar that has fallen, the one that has slammed the door shut for good. This is the pillar of male ignorance and isolation. For generations, the Kessler data remained buried. A man like Alex would go through his traumatic experience and believe he was alone. He would internalize the failure, believing he was uniquely unworthy, a bad provider, a broken man who failed to keep his princess happy. He had no framework, no vocabulary to understand what had happened to him. He was isolated in his pain. This isolation was the final component that kept the system running. A confused, self-blaming man is a manageable man.
Yep, absolutely. So by keeping men ignorant of what's really going on in this dating market, this is kind of what it's going to lead to. Men blindly going into these marriages, expecting this fairy tale ending by giving his woman the so-called princess treatment, and this is the end result. They find out the hard way what really happens. All because they buried that man's research and didn't want the word to get out. So it kept men in this mindset of, I can find me a good woman to marry her, and if I do this, she'll be with me forever. Then the cold hard truth smacks him in the face like a pile of ice. That's basically what he's saying. All right, let's continue. Fair use.
He will get back on the horse. He will try again, believing the problem was with his individual performance, not with the fundamental rules of the game.
Absolutely, but men of today and for the last 30 years or so have caught on to the game. They don't just blame themselves. They look at the women that they're dealing with and the overall and how the dating market nowadays is just rigged to shit. So that's basically what he's saying.
That era is over. The internet, for all its ills, has been the greatest debunker of fairy tales in human history. The digital campfire has allowed men like Alex to find other men like Alex. They share their stories in comment sections, on forums, and in private groups.
Like we do today, yep.
They discover, with a shock that turns to grim solidarity, that their experiences are not unique. They are universal. They are patterns. The red pill is, at its core, simply the mass, decentralized dissemination of the Kessler report.
In other words, a better interpretation of everything that was said in that report. A basic reveal of everything he documented in that report. Yep.
It is the collective realization of the forbidden truth. Men are sharing the data points of their own lives and seeing the terrifyingly consistent pattern emerge. This collective awakening is what quietly ending the special treatment truly looks like. It is not a coordinated strike. It is a mass, spontaneous realization of a bad deal. When a man understands that the kingdom is a mirage and the princess's loyalty is a conditional loan, he stops investing in the fairy tale. He stops swiping on dating apps that make him feel worthless. He stops spending his money on expensive dates to prove his worth. He stops suppressing his own needs and boundaries to avoid conflict.
Yep.
He starts investing in himself, his body, his mind, his skills, his bank account, his brotherhood.
In other words, put more value on yourself and not so much value on these women. Yep.
This is the inspiration that emerges from the shock. This is the great correction. The disappearance of the princess treatment is not a tragedy. It is the dawn of a painful but necessary honesty. It is the end of a gilded age built on a foundation of suppressed truths and unsustainable bargains. For men, this is a call to arms, not against women, but against their own illusions. It is a call to build kingdoms for themselves, not for the approval of a princess who may not be there tomorrow. Build a strong body, a resilient mind, a robust financial fortress, and a circle of loyal brothers. Your value must cease to be a variable dependent on a woman's validation and become a constant, rooted in your own competence and self-respect. The path forward is not to lament the end of the fairy tale, but to become the author of your own epic. The age of the princess is over. The question that remains is, what will you, as a modern man, build in its ruins? The power to answer that question is the ultimate freedom this great correction has given you. Seize it.
Well, that's the video. What y'all thought? Thoughts, comments, concerns?
Interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting. Creative Solutions, what do you thought? What are your thoughts?
You already know what I think. You know I don't agree with your videos and they like overly extreme. But yeah, I feel like nobody's stopping you from getting the type of woman you want or dating whoever you want. You know, I feel like you just got to put yourself out there and make it happen. At first, it might not seem easy because you might have to battle with some of your inner beliefs, but it is possible.
Yeah, it is possible. We're not saying that it's not possible. We're just saying you have to go in it, so you have to kind of move carefully, tread carefully. Don't just go into any situation blind.
Well, yeah, you have to use your intuition and your inner guidance, and
Yeah.
there's clues
not
along the
saying-
way.
I'm not saying men shouldn't get married. I mean, I support marriage and I think it's a wonderful thing, but let's be honest here. Marriage is not for everybody. Everybody can't do it, unfortunately. Much as I want to see everybody get married, I have to understand that it's not for everybody. Everybody can't do it. Some of us weren't raised to be husbands or wives or whatever. We didn't see a good example of that growing up. I had a guy tell me that he doesn't believe in marriage because he doesn't see women as property. That's a bit far fetched, but it is what it is. Okay. So how
See,
you gonna?
yeah, people have their own, ideologies. You got to find somebody that agrees with you.
And I think that's the hard part, trying to find someone who agrees with you and genuinely agrees with you, not just going along with it because they want something.
Well, you have to be open and compromise too. Because not everything that you say is right or somebody's gonna side with you. Everything is compromise. It's not a dictatorship. Because if it was a dictatorship, you'll be by yourself.
And that's what I don't promote. I promote possible leadership, not no damn dictatorship. There's a difference in the two, you know? But yeah, that's how I feel about the whole thing. That man just broke down the overall history of the princess treatment and how it died out. And the stuff he found out was so egregious and that they had to bury it because they felt like it would be a detriment to society. It's kind of like on these panels where we try to talk about the dark side of female nature, how the dating market is shit. But then I'm not saying you two do this, but I'm saying y'all want to shut us down and call us every name in the damn book because we're telling the truth. That's the same thing that doctor in the video had to go through when he found out this stuff. They want to shut him down, or we call it cancel culture, cancel him and bury his research so people would just stay ignorant just to keep society going. Of course, I don't
So,
know. How do you build a society based on ignorance is beyond me.
facts.
That's like asking
A
someone to
part of
build.
me,
That's like asking someone to build a house without giving them the proper blueprint. How they gonna know what to do if they don't have a blueprint or some directions?
well, you do have directions. If you meditate, if if you pray, if you do some type of spiritual thing where you center yourself and you ask yourself some questions, answers will be revealed.
Yeah, the answers
And you
got
can tell
revealed.
when something isn't right. Like your body is off, something is just off about you, and the situation is off. That's how you know that this is not right.
Yeah, that's true. But unfortunately, some of us catch red flags way sooner than others. Unfortunately.
Well, that's the part of life you're supposed to learn. Like some people burn to learn, but I think that's what make love like so beautiful because it's not something that can be easily found. Because if it was easily found, nobody would put it on a pedestal. You know,
Yeah,
you
that's
have to
true.
like grow and attain it. You have to go through some of these crazy people, and you have to learn some of your lessons. And when you do go through all of that and you find that person, you'll appreciate them a whole lot more.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I like the challenge, but not the headache. There's a difference between being a challenge and being a headache. I don't mind the challenge, but just don't give me a headache.
So, what do you mean by a headache? Who's giving you? Give us an example of a headache.
If you have unrealistic standards that you know most men cannot meet, and even if they did, they wouldn't. You probably don't qualify for them. Or I'm not at a point where I need to be, but yeah, you still want to dismiss me. That's not cool. You're more of a headache, if anything. You're not looking for a man. You're looking for, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. You're not looking for a man. You just want your standards to be met. That's
Mm,
something I've been noticing. Are
I
you
don't
looking
know, cause
for a
I kind of
lover?
so I don't live by your rules and stuff like that. Cause I feel like if you're a man, I'm not saying because I can't speak for man, but I'm gonna speak for myself. So for
Okay.
me, right, if I feel like I need to lose weight or I need to dress a little bit much better in order to attract somebody else, and you can use it for like a job or something, I will go out my way and I would like, meditate. I would think about it. I would try to strategize on how I could dress better, how I could work out, what are some simple things that I could do, and I would just get after it. I know even men be on here and they be saying that you guys don't value things you don't work for. What is you to say to that?
You don't value things you don't work for. No, you don't. It's easy to value something you got to work your ass off to
Exactly.
obtain it. You can't just hand somebody a trophy. They got to put in work. There's no honor in taking something that you didn't work for, really.
Exactly. So I feel like it's the same thing with women. So
And that's why we don't that's why we try not to deal with easy women or easy pickings, because there's no honor in getting with a woman or a woman getting with a man that she just easily got. There's no honor in getting something that you didn't work for.
exactly what you just said there. But what do you mean by working for a woman? Give me an example of working for a woman.
Give you an example of working for a woman.
Working for a woman
Meaning
and feeling like you attain it. Like I worked for her, I put in the work, you know, whatever you feel like made you
you show her,
worthy to
you
have that
show,
woman.
I'm going to say, well, I'm going to say, show her that you are worth something outside of just a simple pump and dump. Show her that, hey, you got goals, you got ambitions, you respect women. You know, you're not afraid to go for the things that you want, but you move very, very carefully. If you can show her that you're all those things and she finds you attractive in the process, then you got it made. And Angie, you've been kind of quiet down there lately. You got something to say on this? How did your husband work for you or get you?
Really, it was his personality,
Yep, that works
and
too.
and I can tell he had it, all upstairs. It was really us getting to know each other, like spending hours on the phone if we didn't see each other at work. Because we kind of
Oh,
pretty much met at our old job that we worked at years ago.
oh yeah, you did talk about that. Yeah, this is before cell phones
Mm-hmm.
were a thing. So yeah, you had to use them old Nokia phones or the
Mm-hmm.
house phone.
Yep.
I had a Nokia in college, so yeah, I know that's how we did it back then.
Yep.
But but yeah, well there's some insights for your creative. Her husband had to show her that he had personality. He wasn't mentally unstable. I mean, we all got issues, but his issues weren't to the point where it could run her off. So
Right. No
Was it
baggage.
I have I was gonna ask Angela. So Angela, was he like completely honest with you and transparent with you?
Yeah. He's always been a transparent, honest person.
So there you go.
well, there you go. Honesty and transparency. Show her that you're about something, you like her, you care about. That's how you put in the work to get a good woman. But you gotta make sure you do it with the right kind of person, because you can't do that with just anyone. Angela proved to me a long time ago that she's definitely worthy of being a wife. I don't know what is about Angie, but I can see wifey written all over her.
Mm-hmm.
If I had met you 10, 20 years ago, we'd have been best friends for life. That is until you get married. And I'll be the best man. But yeah, that's exactly how that goes. And I just found that video interesting. So you mean, well, I knew this kind of 304 behavior was nothing new, but I guess back in those days it was more low key in more ways than one. Because you saw that man's research was buried to where they want to keep society ignorant. And even to this day, you see that happening on TV. They want to keep everybody ignorant, keep everybody guessing. Don't want to tell the truth. We got to figure it out for our damn selves. Trust me, ain't shit changed in the last 60 years or so, or 70 years or so. This stuff is still happening. Only now we got technology more or less out there to expose the bullshit, you know? Because it's a bunch of stuff mainstream media don't want to talk about for whatever reason. Yeah. Creative, you're still there?
Oh yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here with you. I'm listening.
Okay, I appreciate you two listening in. And I
Yeah, I
appreciate y'all.
just, I kind of feel like you're a little bit on the red pill side.
I'm on a rental.
Red pill. Red
Oh,
pill. Red pill rage.
I say why I gotta be red pill rage? How can you tell if
I don't
somebody's red
know.
pill raging?
But I feel like you aligned with their ideologies. If you was to go in their chat rooms with the men who be like talking down on women, I feel like you would fit right in.
If I see a man talking down on a woman, I'm gonna have a problem with that. I'm gonna think, go upside this man's head. Shit. We don't do that over
Mm,
here. We don't do that bullshit over here. Nope.
okay.
And I've seen it happen. I've seen men disrespect women on these panels. I'm like, bro, would you please shut your ass the hell up and let the woman speak? Jesus Christ. Then get your point across. I don't mind a debate, but come on, we gotta be respectful with this kind of shit. That kind of pisses me off. And remember, I hold women and men accountable for their fuckery. I call it out on both ends. Ain't no special treatments over here.
Okay. Muscular, muscular. I got you.
I mean, the dating market is fucked up, not just because of women, but I guess we as men, we're almost, if not more, just as guilty.
Yeah, it's on both sides.
Yep. So yeah, I
But
called it
I
out on
just
both ends.
yeah. But I don't think it's nothing wrong with it. I think it's people are just waking up and people are just understanding that, they're understanding their belief system, they're understanding their childhood trauma, they're understanding all of those things. So, what a great time to be alive.
Yeah, but 20 years ago was a better time. I mean, every generation got its shittiness, but
We're in evolution. That's our time period. So,
evolution
we
or
got to move with it.
devolution? Devolution, more like it.
No, I think it's evolution. We're in the evolution of consciousness.
Well, consciousness, yeah, I guess. Because
We
back
are. You don't
then,
think so?
as far as being awake, yes, we are. Because remember, 50, 60 years ago, there was no computers, there was no internet. Hell, when we were younger, we didn't have internet or cell phones or any kind of up to date technology. We just had basic computers. So we
I'm
didn't
not
have
even
these kind of
talking about that. I'm
discussions.
talking about like people
Life has
being
evolved.
yeah, people are being open to therapy. Therapy is being talked about.
Yeah.
People are talking about narcissists. People are talking about their dating experiences. A lot of people are being forthcoming and people are talking about their experiences. And when they do that, other people could resonate, other people could understand, and other people could be like, "Oh, so I get it because she's going through the same thing I'm going through, and I possibly been through the same stuff that she been through growing up. So now I understand, you know?
Yep, that's how that go. That's why we have these kind of discussions on these platforms. Now, back
Exact.
in
And
the
same thing goes for men. You guys resonate with some of the men be talking about. You guys sit on here
yeah,
and y'all be like, yeah, I grew up like that. I had that girl that didn't talk to me in high school, or I didn't go to prom, or oh whatever you was going through, and it stunted your growth, or it didn't make you feel like you were confident. You can speak up for yourself. You're able to go out and achieve your dreams. Those are the things that people are battling with.
yep, that's how it needs to be. It's
Mhm.
good to have them kind of discussion because I think it's easier to accept certain things when you look around and see there's other people going through it. Like if I get done dirty by a woman who used me or took advantage of me, but then I hear other men speak out on their stories or hear from other women how a man did them dirty, now I'm understanding. This is just an unfortunate part of society. Ain't always just the man. It's sometimes look at the kind of women we got to deal with. So that's why I say both women and men are responsible for this messed up dating market.
And I talk about it on my channel, and I said, hurt people hurt people. And
Yep,
some of
absolutely.
the worst people you can interact with or be around is somebody who's broken, who's hurt, and who's carrying around all of these bags. Because no matter what you tell them, they can't see it. And some of these people got major platforms and they have all of these people underneath them, and those people are just reliving their trauma underneath them every time they listen to them. It's almost like a shot like going through them, like they remember that trauma, they remember that feeling, and every day is almost like a drug. they get hyped up. It's almost like they're taking some type of drug every day. Like, you know how you smoke weed every day, you gotta go get a drink? That's what it's
Mm-hmm.
like to some people. They get on that channel, they be like, yo, I'm about to feel good because these women are this, or I'm about to feel good because these men are this. And yeah, they get high. That should make them feel so fucking good. Like, and the next day they're able to, go out and go about their life. Like nothing happened.
Yes, that does happen. I mean, to be fair, these pounds are kind of therapeutic, depending on what we're talking about. It's therapeutic for me, at least. My purpose is to bring people together and have intellectual conversations. I mean, the views and shit gonna come, but to me, it's more about just bringing people together.
Yeah, so I just right now, I think I'm a little bit overdone with all these conversations. To be honest, I'm trying to jump timelines and jump frequencies right now because I don't want to delve in this anymore. I've had my traumatic upbringing and all of that stuff, and it made me who I am today, and I went through it. But I don't want to stay in these frequencies anymore because I came here to overcome, evolve, and to be a victor, not a victim.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, what
So
kind of
that's why
trouble?
when people talk about stuff like this, a part of me laughs at them, but another part of me feels for them. But if they do it all the time, like I'm gonna have to call it out. And it's not even, and that sometimes I gotta stop myself because I get so agitated and I get so mad and I get so frustrated because they just coming up here with the same type of talking points, the same fucking bullshit, the same fucking shit. And I'd be like, did they even try anything to help their situation? And
Huh.
to me, I just get fucking mad. Like I can't take it. Like I just be wanting to go off on them. And I just feel like, I can't be doing that. So I need to step away. And that's just an indication that maybe this is not resonating with me. I shouldn't be listening to this.
I mean, you ain't gotta listen to everything because not everything resonates with me. Shit. So pick pick your stuff wisely. That's all I can tell you. Oh, salute to Clue Studios. Thank you for stopping by. You're a little late, but hey, appreciate you for stopping by, Clue. But I do feel what you're saying. But like I said, my whole purpose is to bring people together and we can have intellectual discussions about shit going on in the world. And it ain't always about raging out on men or raging out on women. No, we don't do that up in here. I have other things to talk about, but
I'm like, who's Chanel? Nobody's up here, Chanel.
who?
You said Chanel.
I didn't say anything about Chanel. Who's Chanel?
You
Oh,
just said Chanel.
it sounds like you said Chanel.
He did
I
say
didn't.
Chanel.
I didn't say Chanel, did I?
Yes, you did. You did.
I don't know who Chanel is. Only Chanel I know was the one that be on Drip Show.
Yeah, you said Chanel. We just pointed it out. That's it.
My bad. My bad. I didn't mean to say that. I don't know where it came from, but okay. I didn't mean to say that. Well, it was good
But
having
yeah,
you.
these
Go
huh?
ahead. I say, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, these conversations, they drain me. Because I have a YouTube channel and I just talk about healing and I talk about how, people with these ideologies and where it comes from and how you should not be caught up in it.
Well, we need channels like that to exist because healing is something we don't talk about enough. We just carry the trauma because we're too afraid to open up. So we need people like yourself to talk about healing. Do your thing, my girl. Do your thing.
No, because some people be on here talking for 10 years about the same shit.
10 years.
Yes.
That's true. Some people do.
And
I
it's
mean,
like, you know what? You came in this space, right? You talked about your trauma, but did you evolve? Like what happens after? Did you even go out and try to date? Did you overcome what you was talking about? Because if not, if you're just complaining, then you're doing a disservice to you, yourself, and your community.
yeah, it makes sense when you put it like that. Yep.
10 plus years, you wasted all that time. You could have been dating, you could have went to college, you could have did so many things in that 10 years that you
Well,
spent
me,
on here complaining.
I did all of that. I did college. I did dating. Been to the clubs and everything. Even a gentleman's club. Yep, been there, done that. Ain't nothing new for me. But
Yeah,
I
that's what I was
digress.
just. Yeah, some people just be on here and they build platforms off of this, and they just continue.
I haven't noticed anyone doing that, but then again, I don't go on a lot of platforms.
Yeah, look at Obsidian.
What about Obsidian? Obsidian Ali?
Obsidian. He
Yeah, I know
still
who that.
talks about how his prom and how he went to his prom and he's so sad because he didn't go out with the girl he's supposed to go out with, and his mother tried to dress him up and he didn't get the correct suit, and it was one of the worst days, and he always brings it up. And that dude is about
I
like
mean,
what,
how
almost
often?
60?
My question is, how often does he bring it up? Does he bring it up as a crazy story to tell, or bring it up
He
as just
brings
a
it up all
traumatic
the time.
experience? Huh?
All the time on panels, he brings it up.
I never noticed that, honestly. I ain't seen
And
Obsidian in who knows.
you be like, what the fuck is this dude talking about? Like, why is he bringing this shit up? Like, aren't you 60? Like, didn't you go out on dates and
Actually, he's
didn't
50.
you go out on parties? Did you do anything? Like,
I mean, my senior prom was pretty eventful. I still got the picture 22 years later.
see, you got good pictures about that. Some people don't have that.
Yeah, some
And
people
and
don't.
and and it's okay if you don't have it. It's okay. But you have the power to create new memories. You have the power to create new things. You don't need to reminisce on things that make you feel bad.
I mean, I think that depends. I mean, sometimes reminiscing on bad things can make you stronger to make sure it doesn't happen again.
How was reminiscing on bad
Like,
things
for
make you
example,
stronger?
if you're going to reminisce on when you got jumped on in middle school, well, take your ass to the goddamn gym, get buffing, and start exercising more. So
Yeah, you can use
use
it
all that
at that
negative
point.
experiences to create positive experiences, kind of like that.
Yes, you can, but you don't need to reminisce on it. Like,
I don't
imagine you
mean
go on a
reminisce.
date or you going somewhere and you bring that up. People are gonna look at you like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
You know what? If I'm a whole man, if I met a guy, he brought that shit up while we just kicking. I'm like, why are you telling me this crazy story? Maybe, but I'm gonna look at him and wonder.
And
That's why I
they
was
use it all
asking.
the time in these spaces. They be like, "Oh, black girls didn't like me in college. They didn't like me here, so that's why I decided to date a white girl." And it's like, why are you taking the trauma you've been on and throwing it on other people? Like, I did not
Okay.
do that to you. The other black women that you now meet, and they didn't do that to you. And we have to suffer, and because you went through that, and you got to carry that shit on. Like, what the fuck?
Okay, that's not cool. And for the record, I can't put a race on someone's quality. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Thailand, British, whatever, Jamaican, whatever. I don't put a race on quality.
No, but that's what these dudes say in the space. And it's just like, that's not a good enough reason for you to date somebody that's white. You need to go handle your trauma and then come back to the drawing board.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's not your place to tell a man that he's weak because he prefers a white woman. Again, you can't put a
Nobody is
race.
saying that he's weak. My thing is, don't bring up all these other
I'm not
things.
saying you say this. I'm just saying that's what I've been hearing a lot of in general. Oh, you can't handle a strong black woman, so you want to go with a weak woman. You know that's racist, right? Because you're implying that your race of women is superior to every other race of woman out there. That sounds kind of racist when you think about it, you know?
I don't even care about that anymore. I never did, but anyway, I feel like if somebody's dating outside the race, they truly love that person, and that's who they want to be with, and that's what I think, and I'm sticking with it.
Yep, as it should be. Ain't always about going for the weaker race, because ain't no such thing as a weaker race. I mean, some races, I mean, culture may be different, but come on. Some countries are less prominent than others, but that doesn't mean that they're the weaker race. Maybe that
But
other
some
race
but
of even
some
got more
black men
quality.
say that to you because they want to get a reaction out of you too.
Okay, but what do you think about white women? I mean, black men. I mean, I'm sorry, black women dating white men. You think it deserves the same kind of smoke
I
or the
mean,
same
if
admiration?
they say some fuck shit like I had bad experiences with black men, so that's why I dated white men. Then I would
Vetting.
tell them, yeah, you something is wrong with you too because you're taking your experiences from childhood and you throwing it on every black man, and not every black man is like that. You have
Yep,
to sit down and fix something with inside you. It's not the men, it's your experiences that made you think that way.
yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Well said. Well said. Ain't no double standards. Date whoever you want. I don't put a race on someone's quality.
They said that you thinking about Chanel.
Isn't Chanel married? So why would I think about her?
She is married.
That's my point. Why would I be thinking about her?
I don't know. That's what they said.
Yeah, well, Clue is full of shit.
Clue is funny. I like roasting Clue, but that's me.
Yeah, shout out to Clue Studios. But anyway, I'm about to wrap this show up. I appreciate you two ladies up here. What are your final thoughts on anything we talked about?
Go ahead. And was it Angela speak? Because I
Angela C,
spoke a
you've been
lot.
quiet. You've been quiet for quite some time. Go ahead.
And usually I'm not this quiet. My
You're not.
final thoughts on everything. I think what's happening is, well, I don't know, right? Because right now, from what I'm seeing, there's like a shift going this way and a shift going that way. But I guess with the number of women that was running around here saying they didn't want to be bothered, right? And they're independent, they don't need no man and all this. Well, men are responding to that. They're like, fuck it. No princess treatment. They don't even bother trying to talk to women anymore. Like, I think that is what's happening. And now I'm seeing another shift because like I said, there's a shift going this way, that way. Now I'm seeing women like, hey, men are not approaching us anymore, and we don't get the princess treatment. And I'm thinking like, everybody needs to make up their minds. Do you want to be approached or not? Do you want the princess treatment or not? Are you independent or not? Yeah, it's just crazy from what I am seeing. I'm just glad I'm not single and I'm not dealing with none of this. But I think
Yeah.
it's just a response to this shift that's going on, and that's just my final thoughts.
Yeah. And by the way, Angie, did you just curse?
Did
Why? 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 Why?
You know I gotta mess with you. Yeah, let that inner Scorpio out of you. Shout
so
out to
that's
all
my
my Scorpio.
hmm
Oh, okay, let that inner Scorpio out of you.
yeah, and that's it. That's all I have to say.
Oh, well, I appreciate you being up here, my girl. I appreciate you
hmm
being up here. Creative Solution, what are
hmm
your final thoughts? Creative?
Oh, I'm here. My final thoughts on that and
Shout out to
your topic
Mahogany.
about what was it, princess treatment?
Yeah, the princess
So I
treatment.
so I feel like I don't think women are saying that. I think people are looking online and they're taking that everything that they see and they taking it to heart. And then they're, it's the same thing I just talked about. It's like you're taking your negative experiences and you put it on every person that you're now meeting. So this new range of people who never met you, they have to take that on because you did not heal or you did not understand that not everybody thinks that way. You know what I mean? So I
Mm-hmm.
still think that, men should approach women that they like nobody's stopping you. I mean, if you don't approach the woman, the answer is always going to be no if you don't approach. So what are you going to lose by approaching? You don't lose anything. You can gain a
Oh,
whole
yes, you
lot.
do. Well, you could lose your freedom, your dignity, and self-respect if you get
How?
rejected in the most if you get rejected in the most disrespectful way possible. I
That's
mean,
if you, but
I
that's
mean,
not like
a simple no, I'm not interested, or I'm married, or seeing someone is one thing. But when you got to hear bullshit like, I don't like that jacket you're wearing. Your shoes look cheap as hell. Girl, just say no, you're
you
not interested in me. God damn it, and keep it
just
moving. You
you
ain't got to
gotta
go
be
all that
confident.
extra shit.
Oh my gosh, you gotta be confident in yourself. People
And
are
that
gonna
confidence
say the
can
worst.
easily get
No,
squandered if the woman says the
people
wrong thing.
people are gonna say the most egregious things to you.
And we're just
You ever
supposed to
did
take that? Fuck
you
no,
ever
but go
did
ahead.
sales? Hold on. If you ever did sales in real life and you had to meet different characters and different people, people are going to judge you. Get the fuck over it. Get the fuck over it. I have to say it like that. Get the
Okay.
fuck over it. Like people are going to judge you whether you like it or not. Are you gonna take whatever they say and you're gonna go home and go cry about it? No, okay, that's your opinion. And you just move on. We probably not resonating on the same frequency. So let me move on and talk to somebody that's on my frequency that possibly likes me. I'm probably not on your frequency. We don't see eye to eye. And just move on. I'm not your cup of tea. That's the end of it. And you like
Yep.
some people may be rude and disrespectful, but that shouldn't stop you from, achieving your goals or trying to talk to another lady. That should not stop you at all. Who gives a fuck what people say? Don't allow people to stop you from
Uh-huh.
achieving what you want to achieve.
Okay, I mean that's the way it needs to be.
Yeah, and that's what and that's what people, and I understand what men are saying. These men need to go through some shit before they come out here because most of these guys, they as soon as they get 1 ounce of rejection, they give up on life. They didn't even try. They didn't even try hard enough. There's so many people who've been through so much rejection and they still standing.
I mean, what kind of rejection are we talking about? Because don't nobody just quit after
In
one
general,
rejection,
in
huh?
general, life is gonna be up and down. You're gonna go through trials and tribulations. You're gonna go hide in your closet because you don't want to go through that?
Possibly. I'm just
The
playing.
fuck?
I'm just messing with you, but I get what you're saying.
No shit.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You gotta get up and you gotta go out. Things are gonna happen. People are gonna say stuff like that. But how are you gonna be a leader and how are you gonna coach the next generation if they need to be coached?
Good point.
No shit.
So yeah, I still think if you want a pretty woman, they're still out there. If you want to, flaunt on a woman, you want give them princess treatment, all of that is out there. Everything you want is out there. You're just one frequency away. That's it. You just got to put it in your head. You got to think about it, you got to feel it, you just got to go out there and get it. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. This is your girl Creative Solutions. I probably might not come back on your piano, muscular, because
Why not?
I don't deal with these topics, and. They
What kind of
degrading single
topics?
women, and they
It's not about
it's
degrading single women. It's about calling out the BS.
it's
It's not
I don't
about
know.
degrading. I mean,
It's victimization.
don't single men get talked about enough in these spaces as it is?
It's
We got
victimization. It's victimization. Yeah. So that's my 2 cents. But you keep doing you and be great.
Please come back soon. You're a marvel to talk to. Just saying.
All right. Have a good night.
You too, creative. You too. Oh boy. Well, I hope she didn't feel some kind of way about this discussion because some people like it. Oh yeah, shout out to Mahogany. Glad you thought of me. I don't mind when you come to bother me. You're late, but please catch the replay. You were a marvel up here last night, but I know you'll be back soon enough. My final thoughts on this whole thing. Now we know the history of the whole princess treatment and why it's not, and why we know marriage is not the sacred institution if it ever was a sacred institution. Because based on those findings, women have been disloyal since the 1940s and 50s. Husbands go out working, they having sneaky links and dips on the side. Sometimes the men be out here fucking around too, but hey, it proves that there was no, even back then, the so-called loyal society was just a fantasy, a lie. I mean, you gotta bury somebody's research and cancel them all together because of what they find. You know something is up. That's kind of like a detective finding clues to a crime that could lead to the suspect, and now the criminals involved want to get rid of him. He know he done found something really juicy. They're trying to shut him down or get rid of him. Kind of like that. Yeah. But yeah, that was some heck of a discovery. But anyways, and as far as older women trying to look young, accept the fact that you're older and just embrace it. I mean, you can look good at any age. I mean, Angela C and Mahogany Roots look good for their ages, but they're not up here thirst trapping or competing with their daughters, if they have daughters of legal age, that is. They ain't got time for that bullshit. They're embracing their ages, whatever their ages may be, and they're just and they're gonna still live life to the fullest no matter what. Sure, we're too old for the clubs, but hey, you can throw it in a circle for your partner or hang out with people your own age and do it with them. But ain't no more of this showing out like you did when you were in your 20s. Stop trying to compete with the young and try to focus on helping out and educating the young when possible. That's how I feel about the whole thing. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. All right. Anyway, shout out to my A1 Day 1, Angela C. How you be? Discourse top tier MVP. Shout out to Cynthia Cole, unpredictable, always at her Pentacle. Shout out to Ivy Woden for stopping by. Shout out to Windchime. Come back soon. And shout out to my newcomer. How'd that go? Oh, yeah. Creative Solutions. The best for evolution. I'm always welcome to your institution. Welcome to the show. And shout out to Clue, do what it do, like taming of the shrew. Thank y'all for stopping by. All right. This is your boy, Hustler and Muscular, also known as H&M, dropping gems, stomping harder than a pair of Timbs. And you know what I do, giving you the truth. Straight out the booth, I'm hitting home runs like baby. And that's what I do. I'm out of here, y'all. Take care, peace, and deuces.